Have your sports curiosity cured.
He's done it, ladies and gentlemen. Ikuma gave it all, but look at this. Mikkel Kingsbury is Olympic champion once again. Canada's first gold medal. Oh my God! The king has reclaimed his crown.
A veteran of the sports reporting game for over 25 years.
Look at the folk.
Look at that body language, leaning in towards the jump, coming in.
Find your feet, Megan. Yes!
Yes, getting their second 1260 of the night.
Holy mackerel! Delivers one, puts the ball over the fence and clears the bases in round number 2.
Breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams.
Celebrating, Dad anxiously watching. What's the kid got this time? Goals in each of the first 2. And on the penalty shot, got another. Macklin celebrating. 5-1 Canada.
This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, here we go for Sol 606, Tuesday, February the 17th. Hope everyone had a great family day yesterday and a great long weekend. Lots of snow in Edmonton and area. Holy smokes. And a lot of snow in Italy for the Olympic Games. Some events postponed today in Italy. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440 on your AM radio dial, on your morning drive, or where you're heading out on a Tuesday morning. And again, hope everyone had a great family day yesterday and a family day weekend. You can also watch us on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM. Drop us a like, a subscription. We would appreciate that. We're also on X, Facebook, Instagram, even Twitch. As always, we are streaming on the many services that are out there on iHeart, the TuneIn app, even on sports1440.ca. And if you miss any part of any show, it turns into one of the many, many podcasts that are out there. You can find them on Apple, Spotify, Google, even Amazon. Be sure to subscribe as well. It's free. Select the auto download. You'll never miss a second of any show. Yes, the Olympics in Milano Cortina continue on. 11 medals so far for Canada. Another one will be coming into the standings shortly. I believe it is at 8:48 Eastern time. Canada has defeated the U.S. in the women's team pursuit semifinal on the short track. So it's Isabel Weidman, Valerie Malte, and Ivani Blondin will compete for their second consecutive gold in the event in speed skating. So that will go at, again, 8:48, I believe, the final slated our time. So another medal. Hopefully, hey, another gold could happen. They have the talent. There's no question about that. So that would be Canada's third gold if they can get it done. It's a quarterfinal qualification for the quarters in men's hockey. Germany has defeated France this morning. Leon Draisaitl had a goal and 2 assists. Josh Szymanski had a goal and 1 assist for the Germans. So they will play Slovakia in the quarterfinals. Also, Switzerland defeated Italy 3-0. So the Swiss will play Finland. The game, obviously, the Canadians are keeping an eye on Czech and Denmark. That game goes at 8:40. Sweden and Latvia to follow. But the Canadians will play the winner of the Czechs and Denmark. And, I would imagine that the, Czechs are going to win that game. So that'll be basically not a rematch, but that's who Canada played, in their group play and actually won quite handily to open up the tournament 5-0. So that's what's going on in hockey. Women's curling, Canada and Sweden. Rachel Homan in the 5th end now leads Sweden by a score of 3-1. Just picked up a single in the 4th end. It's been sort of up and down for Rachel Homan and her Canadian crew. They're sitting at 3-3. So, this is basically a must win. They gotta go on a little bit of a roll here, or they could miss the playoffs. So she needs a big performance, and so far 3-1 in the fifth inning. The Oilers are back. Well, it's technically an optional practice today at 2:00. So they are back after their Olympic break, where a lot of players and their families had a good week off. So it's an optional today. It's a mandatory practice for tomorrow, but 2:00. So I would imagine some guys, even wherever they were, and they're probably getting back into town and things like that. So hey, once again, keep it safe out there on the roads. You're driving into our Sports 1440 studios here, West Edmonton Mall. I mean, the white one was just horror awful, wasn't it? So if you're out and about, and if there's any delays or accidents, give us a shout at 833-401-1440. Hey, let's welcome in the Duke of Delburne after Family Day weekend. And the Duke, what'd you get up to for the weekend and even yesterday?
Oh, I had a very busy weekend, Kev. On Saturday, I was in here for the Triple S.
Oh, boy.
Changed the oil in my truck, took it for a nice bath right in time for the snow to come back down. And it was overdue anyway. I don't think I'd washed my truck once all winter, but that was good. And then Sunday, jetted out to Hinton with a couple other members of my family for memorial service for my uncle who passed away earlier this year, which was, it's always a sad time when something like that, but some good stories shared, memories, and spending time with people closest to you, which is always appreciated, and especially around this weekend and the holiday, kind of meaning a little bit more as well. And then yesterday, just kind of hanging around, got up to watch the hockey games in the morning, early afternoon, and then I actually went and watched my nephew play hockey down in Terwilliger. The Stollery tournament was this weekend.
Yeah.
Kind of a unique format. They just play 4-on-4, and they know there's no stoppages. Any penalties, they just do penalty shots at the end of the game. They all add up. And so I went and watched that the Terwilliger for the afternoon.
Steve Serdachny does such a wonderful job with that over the years for the Stollery. Text 833-401-1440. On Sunday morning, Duke, I made a little trek out to Saker's Acres on Sunday morning and had a good visit with Sake. I don't know if he's going to be out of the rack here this morning, but I told him, I said, okay, do you want to come on? And I'm going to text him here in a little bit to see if he's alive. But Real Duke just texted in, good morning, team. Shout out to the skaters and staff for the world's longest hockey game, $1 million plus raised. His cousin Moose and son Riley skated I saw old Moosey there in the locker room on Sunday morning, but I talked to Saker and I talked to Janelle and old buddy Darcy Humanick, who's been he's been in every game. So they had pretty decent weather, Duke, but sometimes it was just a little too warm, to be honest with you. But Barry Stafford and Darren Stuckey, Sparky Kolchiski, Terry O'Flynn, Blaine McMillan, and am I missing someone here? That they're all getting ready and for the toast of the town, where Terry O'Flynn's going to be honored in town. But this is obviously close to their heart, and it was good to see those guys out there too. But the other I also saw Scott Bentley, Duke, who was on our line in the world's longest game several times, and he's just an absolute beauty. Comes in from Kelowna to do the game, so it was good. And again, the support that everyone showed out there. So hats off to everyone. Did you watch any Olympics, Duke, on the weekend, or?
Here and there. I mean, obviously, primarily in the mornings when I would get up, I would just throw it on in bed while I was scrolling on my phone and things like that. So I wouldn't say I was glued to it, but keeping tabs, obviously a couple of gold medals here for Canada, which was, I think, overdue and greatly appreciated. And funnily enough, it was the two individuals that we'd kind of pegged as our leaders coming into the tournament as flag bearers. So for Mikhail Kingsbury and Megan Oldham, great accomplishment, and second medal for each of them at the games.
So 2 gold, 4 silver, 5 bronze. Text 833-401-1440. Bobby texts in, morning, gentlemen. I blame low tide for the current weather conditions. For the last 2 weeks, he's been saying, now that winter is over. He may have been saying it facetiously, but we all know that you don't tempt the February weather gods. Very true, Duke. I don't once you get to March, I think you can go, all right, the worst is behind us, I think. But I looked at the long range forecast, and it's nasty, Duke. I mean, we're looking at minus 26s and 27s for the overnight lows. And even tomorrow, it's going to snow all day today and tonight. and looking at a high of minus 21 for tomorrow. So it's a little nippy out there for sure. Might as well bring in Josh Fenwick too on a Tuesday morning. Penny Fenwick went down to Calgary. Did you have a good little visit down there for the family day weekend?
Yeah, it's always lovely to see my family and things. It was the first time all three kids have been back in the house together since July. So my mom was very excited about that and happy to have us all around. And yeah, watched some Olympics with them and had dinner at grandma's. Just a ho-hum trip down to Calgary.
I don't know if I'd want to have all three of you kids in the house.
Oh, you probably wouldn't. I mean, my mom says she does, but
yeah, she's lying.
Yeah, I agree.
So you had a nice little visit and some good food and a couple of pops.
Oh yeah, a couple of all those things.
Did you watch any of the NBA All-Star Weekend?
I went back and watched it because I was out on the All-Star game, and then I was at grandma's. Then I opened up Twitter, and everyone is just reeling about how good it was.
Really?
So
I didn't see any of it.
Oh, it was great. I went back and watched it. So
like the game or the other stuff?
The game. They said Victor Wembanyama came out and said, I don't care. I'm going to play hard.
Really?
And it took one guy to say that for everybody to play hard. Kawhi Leonard had 31 of his team's 48 points or something in the first game. Oh, yeah. I
thought everyone was going to, they just said, I'm not watching it. So it's
yeah. Everyone wasn't watching it. And I had to go back and watch it because it was, at the end of the day, really, really fun. They competed hard.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's the new norm.
Longtime listener IMAC texts in and says the Duke was talking about the Stollery tournament. We won the Stollery under 11 Tier 1. He sent a picture in of the team. Goofy format to coach, as it's kind of like pond hockey. And as Duke was saying, so 4-on-4. And then if there is a penalty, it's just basically a penalty shot, Duke?
Yeah, so the only time they actually stop play is after a goal, I guess, and then after a penalty, and then there's just a face-off. Otherwise, goalie covers it. There's no icings. Offside of the play, it's essentially just pond hockey rules, you clear the blue line or whatever and roll the puck out for whatever team is deemed possession and go back again. And then at the end of the game, they keep track of how many penalties each team's taken, and they just roll them out, all the penalty shots consecutive. And for my nephew's team, their team tied it on one of their penalty shots, and then it went to a 10-round shootout.
Wow.
After that. My nephew is the goalie too, and he played very, very well. So shout out my boy Arlo.
He's not watching you play goal, is he?
Well, obviously not. He stopped most of them.
Would he?
So
that would be a tragic error.
I was watching him to get some tips and some pointers.
At the Olympics this morning, women's free ski aerials qualifications, they're postponed till tomorrow because of the snow. Canadian Mario Thénault was going to compete. The men's competition, which was slated for later today, that's been postponed until Thursday. So again, we're talking about the weather here with the snow in Edmonton and area. Same thing in Italy. The women's snowboard slopestyle final, that featured Canadians Laurie Blouin and Juliette Pelchet. That's been postponed. So they haven't decided when they're going to resume that competition. They're going to figure that out later today. And then we talked about it off the top. Canada's got a real good shot at a medal here on day 11, led by the defending champion women's team, pursuit of Ivani Blondin, Valerie Malte, and Isabel Wiedemann. So that goes, and I think that's going to be against Netherlands coming up at 8:48, as we said. The medal count stands at 11 after a gold for Megan Oldham in freestyle free ski, big air. And then that silver for Courtney Soreau in speed skating yesterday. She's been wicked with 3 medals at the game so far. But kudos to Oldham and Mikhail Kingsbury for the golds in their respective events. And then should mention, too, Canada beat Switzerland to advance to the women's hockey final against the United States. Coming up on the big program today, Alan Mitchell will check in, our usual Monday morning leadoff man, but seeing it's Tuesday and we had the holiday yesterday, Tide will be in at 7:20. Had to shift up and switch up Frank Saravalli and Mark Spector. So Frank's going to come on at 8 o'clock. Spec's going to come on at 8:20 just because of how the games are shaking down in Italy, and Frank needed to go on just a bit earlier. We got Lorianne Munzer to talk about the Olympics. That's at 8:40. Eddie Sefko from Mavs.com covers the Dallas Mavericks. So maybe we'll touch on the NBA All-Star Game, where the Mavs are. I mean, they got one of the top young players in the game in Cooper Flagg. Bob Weeks, curling on TSN. Maybe we'll talk a little bit of golf, too, with Weeksy, because things are getting rolling there. It was a hell of a finish on the weekend at Pebble Beach, the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Colin Morikawa, well, he had a really good round, actually, on the round 3, where he shot 62, finishes the tournament at 67. He's got a one-stroke victory over Min Woo Lee and Sepp Straka. And, Scotty Scheffler came on hard again and was just 2 strokes back. So you never, when he's in the field, it's always, the danger of him winning it's right there because he's obviously the best in the world. Connor Halley will be by at 10:20 from Fantasy Frenzy and the Jason Greger Show. Curling, still 3-1. Canada leading Sweden in the 5th end. The Canadians do not have the hammer. Homan, I think she was trying to blank in the 4th end, but ended up hitting and sticking and picked up 1 point. So it's 3-1 there. When we come back, Alan Mitchell, do you hear him daily, 12 to 2, right here on Sports 1440, The Lowdown with Low Tide. That's straight ahead on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Welcome, gentlemen, to the nerve center of game-watching greatness, my sanctuary, my Bro Zone.
Whoa, giant screen, comfy chairs. You've thought of everything.
Almost everything. Where are the snacks? We can't cheer on Canada without the proper fuel.
Way ahead of you. Wilhauk Beef Jerky, the official snack of the Bro Zone.
For a truly Canadian snack to cheer on our truly Canadian athletes, you need Wilhauk Beef Jerky, made with Alberta pride, right here in Leduc.
Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, Junior Chicken, or Chicken Snack Wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Crave presents a new must-see original crime drama.
You think you can just walk away with drug money and nobody's going to come find you?
The Borderline.
You killed my friend.
Set along the Thousand Islands border, a cop blurs the line to protect his past.
I'm going to keep you out of jail.
Starring Stephen Amell, Tamara Podemski, Hamza Haq, and Minnie Driver.
Did you catch the bad guys?
I always catch the bad guys.
The Borderline. Stream now, only on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440. Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 7:20 in Edmonton, and time now for the Puck Report, brought to you by Fountain Tire. At Fountain Tire, we focus on one thing, and it is your vehicle. From tires to wheels to oil changes, even vehicle repairs, we have you covered. Visit fountaintire.com to book your appointment today as we welcome in our Tuesday morning leadoff man, Alan Mitchell. You hear him daily from 12 to 2 right here on Sports 1440 with the Lowdown with Low Tide. Good morning, Tide. How was your family day yesterday and Family Day weekend, big guy?
It was very good. Enjoyed it very much. Been watching a lot of the Olympics, as you would imagine. Had a great Valentine's Day with Karen, and now I'm ready to. I haven't looked outside in 2 days. I'm sure it's just lovely. Can't wait for the spring, the birds in the air, the beautiful sunshine, and maybe a rain to wash away any remnants of snow. I'm sure there isn't much.
Well, you made our text line this morning, Tide, from Bobby, saying, "Morning, gentlemen. I blame Low Tide for the current weather conditions. For the last 2 weeks, he's been saying, now that winter is over." He may have been saying it facetiously, but we all know that you don't tempt the February weather gods. That's from Bobby, Tide.
Well, I refuse to take part in any more winters, so I don't know what it's doing outside, but I will look past it. Yeah, I took the dog out this morning, and I'm like, God, I hope nobody remembers that I said that winter was over. It's probably a bad move on my part, but you know what? We move on. You know.
You mentioned Valentine's Day. Now, do you buy Karen that like that heart-shaped chocolate box? You know, with the chocolates in there, Tide.
I don't buy Karen chocolates because she's not. She likes like. She doesn't like chocolate as much as a lot of people do. Oh yeah, I do. I miss chocolate. Don't have it much, but she likes gummy bears and like with stuff that the average 12-year-old would love. She really enjoys that stuff. Yeah, so it's an easy mark. I buy blue whales. Yeah, blue whales at the. Have you ever had a blue whale? They're very good.
Oh yeah, I remember blue whales and Red Hots, right?
Yeah,
the Red Hots. Those were the dollar-sized coin.
Yeah,
kind of like the licorice kind of thing. This was really
you
good.
Bet. Very good stuff. Yep.
So what have you been watching for Olympics? Do you watch everything, or do you sort of go and just maybe the hockey, or what are you looking at here?
Well, I like to I like to be an expert on all of it, so I watch pretty much everything. There are some sports that I was watching the tag team speed skating teams yesterday, and my head started to hurt because they how in hell do they figure out who's who? And they're skating around to the inside of the track ready to get pushed on their bum to move forward, and it was confusing, but mostly I'll just watch, and then I'll enjoy the athleticism of the individual. I mean, I honestly that air jump, whatever they call it, that big air jump is fantastic. I love that thing. And they go, going back down the hill backwards. That's kind of cool. But I've watched a ton of hockey. Hockey's been the number one item on the menu. I have enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah. What have you thought of the hockey so far, and in particular Team Canada? Obviously had their way with France the other day, but now the real bullets start flying. In the quarterfinals here.
Yeah, I think that's the key element now. We, sometimes you go through a round robin like this, a strong team like Canada, and you haven't been down 3-2 with 7 minutes left yet.
Yeah.
And that can be, then you're going to find out what and who you are. The one of the worries that I would have for Canada is the goaltending it's been brilliant. They, don't give up goals, but have they got that set? Have they got that settled where they are? And in an elimination, anything like the Olympics, you can still blow it, right? And Canada has been to the top of the mountain and also to the bottom. And so I think this is a really good team, man. I think they could win the gold. I think that they're, if they play their cards right, this is theirs for the taking. I love that there's a real offensive feel to this team, but you never know. And it's in a one game elimination, you never know. So I wish the goaltending was a little more straightened out. I think I saw Morrissey and Marchand skating today, so that's good. As long as they're all healthy, I really like their chances. But they're a hell of a team to watch, man. Oh my God, I felt bad for France.
Well, what are you going to do? Yeah. Do you think it's is it a problem at all that they haven't faced any really adversity yet, or does it even matter? You think?
I do think it does matter. Like he's got the coaching staff has a line they can go to now that if they need a goal, so that's good. They seem pretty content with the defensive group that they have. So I think those things are figured out, and now you're not as battle tested as you'd like to be, maybe, but I mean, they're through, and they've got they avoided any very difficult opponent in the quarters, so that's good. So we'll see. But I think they've done as much as they possibly could with what they had. Wouldn't have minded a more substantial opponent, but that's okay. You'll get it soon.
But I think most people are thinking that it's going to be the Czechs. The Czechs played Denmark at 8:40 this morning, and that would be who Canada played to open up this tournament. What do you think they learned from that game when they beat the Czechs 5-0 tied?
Well, I mean, they were rolling, right? And now the Czechs will be better, but so will Canada be. I think if you make a list of teams that could possibly beat Canada in the Olympics, reasonably, without some Tommy Salo hits the mask luck. I think that obviously the USA is there. You always worry about Sweden and Finland, but I don't think Czechia reaches that level. So I think I'm not saying they're going to look past them, but I think that Czechia does not have the horses. They're a good team. They play well together, but I don't think they have the horses to beat Canada.
Sometimes I just wonder, they got three pretty good goaltenders, and I'm pretty sure that they would end up going with Lucas Dostal. But having said that, the other goalies are pretty good too. That's the only thing that concerns me. Say Dostal gets hot, tied, and you never know. That's just one game showdown. The goaltender gets hot, he could win the game single-handedly.
Oh yeah, and that is in international competition. That is there are so many stories. Hasek, others who have gone and done the deed and beaten a team by stopping 70 pucks or whatever, and that can happen. The guy makes 2 or 3 really great stops, and then you start being too fine and either miss the net or not successful. I just think there's too much. I think there's just too much Canada can do against Czechia later in the tournament. I think will be the test, and of course the Americans are they are. I think I think Canada is the team to beat, but I think the most substantial opponent would be the United States, who historically they are, even when they've got good teams, they find a way to maybe finish shy, but maybe maybe this is the beginning of a new United States team. We'll see.
Alan Mitchell with us on Sports 1440. What have you thought about Macklin Celebrini? Here's a guy, he had the penalty shot against France, but this is a guy that he doesn't look like he's 19 years old, Tide. That's for sure.
No, he's we are blessed with great, hockey over many, many decades. And when a player this age doesn't really have a level of hockey that is overwhelming to them, then you have to put them, in a very special place. Now, we don't know what his future is going to hold, but he is building a resume that puts him, high in the group of young players we've seen since Connor McDavid arrived. And I'd say that early days, he looks like he might be, better than Bedard and maybe the best since, McDavid. We'll have to wait and see. That's a long list of great players, but for him to do it at this age, and I mean, he announced his presence right away where he went to the front of the net against Czechia, had a great, like a really, really good tip goal, and then he's just done so many things. His penalty shot goal was, he made it look easy, man. Like that's like that's the easiest goal, like penalty shot goal you'll see. He didn't really even make a move. He just had a really quick release, and that was all.
How pivotal do you think the Crosby line with Marner and Stone will be moving forward here? Because I mean, when the real bullets start flying here, that line's going to play probably the opponent's best line in a head-to-head matchup.
Well, Crosby has always been like a phenomenal 200-foot player. He just is. He's physical. He has great defensive awareness. He's a complete player. So he sets the tone. And then Stone is a really smart, like he's not a fast guy, but he's really smart at both ends of the ice. So I really love his anticipation. And Marner has been really outstanding in this series. And the year he spent in Vegas, I think, a lot of people are like, well, look at Toronto without him, and Toronto made some mistakes in the summer, but he's a world-class player. I think it's a good line. Ideally, maybe you'd want to have like a bigger speedster, because Stone isn't fast and Crosby is, an older gent. But I like the line a lot, and I think they'll be able to suppress the opposition's best, whatever that might represent moving forward. I'm assuming one of the Kachuk lines will be the problem in the anticipated series against the United States.
What have you thought about the defense pairings? Is there a guy on the back end that's maybe stood out for you that you've noticed a little bit more that maybe you weren't expecting his level of play, Tide?
Well, I was openly wondering about Doughty at his age. But he has been, and again, we have to, factor in the competition, but he's been very good and very physical. And I think that Canada, the Canadian game is, 5 parts skill and, maybe 3 parts intimidation. And Doughty does that, even in an era where people don't hit and slash and crash as much as they used to. Doughty gives the Canadians that flavor. Wilson does too, but Doughty on the back end, he's a punishing hitter, and I honestly didn't know if he had it at this age, but he does. He's just a miserable guy to play against. So I'd mention Doughty as the guy that obviously Makar is the he's just such a brilliant skater. But I've been impressed with Doughty.
What have you thought of Tom Wilson? He got it kind of in a little bit of a dust up at the end of the game there, but what have you thought of his play?
Well, I think he's played extremely well. I mean, he's on the McDavid line, so I've watched him closely. He's very physical. He's extremely aggressive. He disrupts. Up until the fight where I don't know who the bloody blue blazes that the player was.
A big guy.
But you said that somebody's going to sign that guy. But I've liked his play, and he's a player who maybe gets less credit for his skill because of the other things he brings. But he's played capably on that line. So I like big guys who like that, who can play with skill and have enough speed to keep up, are extremely valuable. And I think he's shown everybody why he's on this team.
Yeah. Pierre Crinon was the guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I got to remember his name now because somebody's signing him. You tell me nobody's signing that guy. He's getting signed.
I don't think he's getting signed.
He's getting signed.
Hey, Oilers they have got an optional today, 2:00. I think some guys will. I have a good feeling. I think most guys will be there for today, but just maybe your thoughts on getting back to into the swing of things here for the Oilers.
Well, I mean, this is an important period for this team. They're going to have more time for practices and the schedule, not for every NHL team, but it slows down a little bit for the Oilers. And I do think that they need that time working on things like the penalty kill. I'll be interested in seeing, obviously, they don't have three of their guys, and McDavid, Draisaitl, and Szymanski, but I'll be interested in seeing how they line up, what they're looking at in terms of the lines and pairings. And, I'm hopeful that when they get back here, they run Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on the third line at center, just to see leading up to the deadline. They don't have a lot. They don't have a lot of cap room, and they don't have a lot of assets, so they might have to go with just one or two pieces. So do they need a third line center, or do they need a big physical winger? If you put Nugent third line center, you might be able to figure out what you need out of those two, because you kind of need a mirror for Nugent-Hopkins, somebody who could play on the top line, left wing, and then a third line center. Those guys aren't available, so you might have to choose one or the other at the trade deadline.
It's a dirty schedule when they get back too. As far as Connor and Leon, they have a back-to-back with the Ducks and Kings, and then 3 and 4 nights. Actually, it's an afternoon game, that third game in 4 days in San Jose. So do you think, Ty, that maybe there will be some load management?
Oh yeah.
Do you think that maybe they don't even address a game? Connor,
I think it's absolutely possible. Now, McDavid, legendarily, if that's a word, doesn't like to take any time off. So maybe they'll play him. But I think that you're right about load management. I mean, like if they're up, 5-1, or God forbid 5-1, down 5-1, then I think that they'll back them off. But there's you have to look for the long haul now. This is the serious business, and they'll have, it's a I don't know, you've flown to Italy far more than anybody in this conversation or listening online, so you'd know how far it is. But I'm sure there's a little bit of jet lag, and then just general getting used to things. So taking a game off, like playing 2 of the 3 of the first, not a bad idea, I think.
Well, I mean, they might just fly right out to LA, I would imagine, right? From wherever.
Probably.
So it's going to be a tough go for sure.
Yeah.
What's coming up on the big program today, Tide?
Well, we've got Jason Greger's making a special appearance.
Wow.
So Jason will, even though he usually pops in Monday, we've got him coming up on Tuesday. And I believe that we'll have the roundtable. Like basically we play zebra versus hyenas. I'm the zebra, and Declan Kruger and Donovan Paulson and Josh are the
hyenas.
The hyenas chasing after me, and then it's kind of it's a blood sport radio is what it is.
Can you feel these young guys nipping at your heels there?
Oh my God! Well, it's pretty hard to ignore, Kevin, when they say "retire, old man" every time we take a commercial break. So yeah, it's. I mean, they're getting the voices are getting louder. I'll put it that way.
I hear it too, Tide. I hear it too, big guy.
Well, screw those guys, Kevin.
Absolutely. Have a great show. We'll talk to you next week, Tide.
All right. Be good, boys.
That's Alan Mitchell. You hear him daily from 12 to 2 right here on Sports 1440, the Lowdown with Low Tide. And that's the Puck Report, brought to you by Fountain Tire. And again, we have one thing in mind, and it is your vehicle. Check them out at fountaintire.com and book your appointment today. When we come back, we'll get to some of your texts, 833-401-1440. What's caught your eye at the Olympics so far? Send us a note at that text line, 833-401-1440. The Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Hello. You're never going to believe this. Booster Juice called your name today. You can get a free smoothie or acai bowl.
No way. I'm heading there now.
Oh my gosh, you and my brother had the same name. Okay, I'm calling him next. I'm hanging up.
Booster Juice Names of the Day is back. 2 names are selected each day, and if your name matches, you can get a free smoothie or an acai bowl. Watch for your name on the Booster Rewards app and social media. Must be an app member to qualify. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Free trips, free iPads, a barbecue, a wood stove, the #1 dealer in the world. What? Who cares? How about no pressure, a great deal, finance rates as low as 0%, trade values you can be happy with, and an indoor showroom. And we're pretty good people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
The future of female hockey is here. It's season 2 of the Female Super League, the first ever female-only independent hockey division in Western Canada, with teams from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Featuring 16U, 14U, and 12U divisions, the FSL brings showcase weekends packed with thrilling games, and our 14U and 16U have been pioneering the advanced body checking rule, empowering young players. The Female Super League, where the best in female hockey takes center ice. Details at femalesuperleague.com.
Sometimes you think about what you're going to do in the day. Go to work, pick up the kids from school, make supper. But at GS Construction, we think a little differently. Winter is our season to think, to plan, and to improve. We study, we innovate, we train. So when the thaw comes, we're ready to dig, build, and deliver even better, which means we need people like you. If you're thinking about joining the team at GS Construction, now's the time to do it. To apply and to see how we think, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in stock, ready to deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 743 in Edmonton. Text line 833-401-1440. Sham Texan says, Tom Wilson hopes that guy gets signed from France. He will pay the piper. And that is Pierre Crinon.
Well, did you see yesterday, Kev?
What's that? What?
Crinon?
What about him?
Suspended by his own organization for the rest of the tournament.
I didn't see that.
Yes.
Oh.
The French team.
Wow.
They said none of
I
that.
got her now, yeah.
Which,
Suspended.
listen,
Wow.
you don't want to cast broad assumptions across entire nationalities and things like that, but that's kind of like the most French thing you've ever heard is that you suspend your own player for fighting.
He's a bigger guy, isn't he?
He had some size to him, no doubt.
Imagine if
he ragdolled like them, and it wasn't much of a
Yeah.
scrap, right? I mean, he was kind of wrestled for a moment, but
wasn't much there for sure. Hey, did you notice the big news really, Duke, is that they're changing the boards
yes,
to a lighter color because there's been a couple goals that have been a little suspect.
Well, the Swayman one stands out the most, I think, probably for the majority of viewers. But yeah, I was doing some reading on that last night, actually. And apparently it's common for double IHF events to change the boards throughout an event. And this time they were doing it sooner or whatever, but at request or with influence or input from players to a lighter color. So interesting for sure.
Yeah, so it's basically they're in place for the quarterfinal games, qualification games already for today. So it's kind of weird the fact that that they didn't. I mean, maybe a test drive or something. You know what I mean? Like, how do they not know this to start? Because again, the Swayman one was the most probably egregious one, obviously, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's scored off center ice, like.
That's like Mike Smith, eh?
Well, that's exactly what immediately your mind goes to. But I don't think Swayman turned around and threw his arms up at his defenseman, saying it was his fault.
No, exactly. Rachel Homan struggling. She's struggling here. Sweden picked up a big 3-ender in 5. Canada had an opportunity for a deuce in 6. Homan was light on her final stone. So now just a single point in the 6th end, and it's tied 4-4. Rachel Homan and her Team Canada crew and Sweden. And again, with a record of 3-3.
Homan's pretty much in must-win scenario here. And picked up, obviously, the 2 big wins yesterday, which were pivotal. Wasn't pretty against Japan, but got the job done all the same. And now the Swedes are...
What are you thinking about Homan?
The team on whole has been very up and down over the tournament. And, of course, after... we had the whole Mark Kennedy scandal. I mean, it might be the most international headlines that curling has ever made, for the sake of the fact that a little FU match going on between him and the Swedish player after the double touch accusation, and then there's cameras in the crowd, and that's what I mean. Homan had one as well in one of her own games, and similar but different. Her kind of finger dragging across the top of the rock after releasing, and. I don't know if something like that affects a team of this much experience and fortitude. Like they've been here before, right? At the Olympics. I mean, as decorated as any team across the world, but you have to wonder if something like that does start to rattle your cage a little bit when your accusations are getting thrown around.
Blair texting you live from Italy, KK. No way Blair went to the Olympics, did he? He said, I just left the Athletes Village and I'm singing "Oh Canada" for the gold medal game. Yeah, whatever, Blair. You lie to your friends, I'll lie to mine, but let's not BS each other. Tim says, man, I'm so sad for Homan and company. They're so elite, but just can't do it in the Olympics. I don't know, what is it, Duke? I mean, obviously she's been one of the best curlers of her generation. The rink is there.
If we rewind to last year after the Scotties, and obviously another win for her. You and I talked about it on this program that should she get to the Olympics again, which at that point, the run of domination that this team was on seemed like an inevitability. And it kind of was even during the trials last fall. Homan was an Olympic gold medal away from maybe being the best woman curler in the history of the sport.
Yeah.
Right. And I listen, struggling at the Olympic Games doesn't take away from her other accomplishments, but it certainly does matter when you're talking about stacking up against all-timers.
And again, we've talked about how the gap is closed to where it really isn't a gap.
It's insane, anymore. Right? Like the gap is as small as any other sport essentially at this point in terms of the number of teams that are competitive and that can win. Yeah. So
text 833-401-1440 Schwackhammer, our buddy down at the airport, says, morning guys. The roads are terrible going into the airport. Take your time. And then also couple texts here this morning, Duke, and they're talking about Creenon and the taunting that got him suspended more so.
Yeah, I believe that is true. Was saying that a little bit in jest and, to the point. But yeah, and then Brad also followed up, said apparently he has a history of suspension in his own league, little bit of reputation-wise. So yeah, I'm sure that absolutely played a factor.
Yeah, Jay and Victoria, hoping Wilson gets a hold of that rat Matthew Kachuk, but he'll turtle like he did when Zach got a hold of him. That's a ways down the road here yet. 833-401-1440. You know, and I'm just looking like, you know, I've been kind of watching the curling because we've had it on since basically the start of the game here, Duke, when I got here. And it's not just Holman that's, you know, executing at a level that we haven't seen. It's everyone else too. Like, I mean, Tracy Fleury just had a decent shot with her first rock here in the 7th, sort of like just to wiggle the stones around. But, you know, I think it's everyone else. And again, we've talked about how good this team has been for such a long, long time. They've been, you know, world beaters. They've had success, you know, on the World Curling Tour. I mean, everything. But for whatever reason it is, haven't been able to do this. And then you follow this up with what happened in mixed doubles, Duke. You know, there's a chance that Canada doesn't get to the playoffs here. You know, so that would be like just absolutely devastating. Yeah, old guy from the Kootenay says, yeah, that French player was not suspended for fighting. It was his WWE act from the ice to the dressing room. And again, I think this is probably getting a little bit more play than it deserves, say, Duke, than when you're thinking about it. So, again, Canada with 11 medals, 2 gold, 4 silver, 5 bronze. The men's hockey qualification for the quarterfinals, 2 games are in the books. Germany beat France 5-1. Leon Draisaitl had 1 goal, 2 assists. Josh Szymanski, the other Oiler on the German squad, had 1 goal and 1 assist. It will be Germany taking on Slovakia in the quarterfinals. And then also Switzerland beat Italy 3-0. So the Swiss will take on Finland in the quarterfinals. Coming up at 8:40, so just a little less than an hour from now, the Czechs take on Denmark, and then Sweden and Latvia to follow. The Sweden-Latvia game, that's so, you know, you look at that, Duke, and there's, you know, so pretty good chance Sweden's going to win that game, I would imagine. So it's going to be Sweden and the USA.
Yeah, it makes for some early intrigue here in the medal round, without a doubt. And it kind of tees up as everybody was hoping, like the way the bracket actually went, that should both teams continue to win, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a tees up as a gold medal game between Canada and the United States.
Yeah.
Which is what everybody wanted. I think the sport, the world, I mean, of course, Finnish and Swedish and Czech fans were all hoping that their team would be there, and they still have a chance to, without a doubt. But finishing as the top 2 seeds, this format lended itself to it. So it's going to be no easy task for the Americans. Like, this is a good Swedish team. Don't be mistaken. Goaltending's plagued them a little bit here, causing them to not be a top 4 seed. And they have to play this qualifier game. But that's going to be probably the premier game, I would think, of the quarterfinals.
Yeah. Tim texts in too. Because we talked about this last week, Duke. You know, this was until Friday where, you know, it was a slower medal count for Canada. But Tim says, do you see this as a failed Olympics for Canada to this point? I mean, I think I would lean towards saying yes, just because of, you know, again, 11 medals. They had 26 in Beijing. They had 27 at the last Summer Games. You know, I think if you're looking at anything under 20 medals here, that would be a very large disappointment.
Oh, I would agree. Absolutely.
You know, there's, again, they're going to have they're taking on Netherlands here in this pursuit. So that's going to be another medal this morning.
Yes.
So I don't know. Is it like, I just look at the curling here. Like if Rachel Homan doesn't get into the playoffs and you tack that on with what we saw with Gallant and Peterman in mixed doubles, to me, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Text 833-401-1440. John says, yes, the IOC didn't suspend the French player. It was his own national federation, and we did just discuss that, John, as well. You know, it's funny how the curling is played out here. And again, so Canada and Sweden right now 4-4 in the 7th end. Sweden has the hammer and I think is set up to score. The last shot from Holman here as the Swedish first skip rock slides into the house. Hopefully Canada can limit Sweden to 1 here. There's a chance of that happening for sure. So coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we're switching things up. We are switching things up because of Frank Saravalli being in Italy, and he's going to join us right at 8 o'clock. Mark Spector flip-flopping with Frank. Speck will be with us at 8:20. Then we got Lorianne Munzer coming up at the 8:40 mark as well. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Riverside Honda. 59 years and counting. A St. Albert and surrounding areas premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It is your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Team Canada in Italy this morning. The women's short track team pursuit winning their semifinal skate over the United States will now go for gold against the Netherlands just before 9 o'clock. Men's aerials, women's aerials, and the women's snowboard slopestyle final, which has a pair of Canadians in the field, have all been postponed due to weather. In case you missed it yesterday, Megan Oldham picked up Canada's second gold medal of the game in women's big air, and our women's hockey team punched its ticket to the gold medal game, beating Switzerland 2-1. Marie-Philippe Poulin became the sport's all-time leading scorer at the Olympics with 2 goals in the win. Currently in action, Rachel Holman and her women's curling team playing Sweden. Final rock coming out in the 7th end, currently tied at 4 apiece. And still to come today, Madeline Shazaz with their short program in women's singles figure skating. Men's 2-man bobsleigh is their final 2 runs. 2 Canadian teams in that field. Brad Jacobs and the men's curling team will take on Great Britain, and Dylan Deschamps will ski for a medal in the men's big air. Outside of the Canadian spec, quarterfinal qualifier games for the men's hockey are on today. Leon Draisaitl 3 points in Germany's 5-1 win over France. The Swiss topped Italy 3-0, and still to come, Czechs play Denmark and Sweden taking on Latvia. From the NHL, Brandon Bussey and the Hurricanes have agreed on a 3-year extension with an AAV of $1.9 million, and the Sharks have placed Jeff Skinner on unconditional waivers with intent of contract termination. Coming up in hour 2 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV and Sportsnet's Mark Spector, plus Olympic gold medalist Lorianne Munzer. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free Radio Player app and listen wherever you go.
There's a lot of great seasons in Alberta. Hockey season, harvest season, the winter season, and the even more winter season. But GS Construction is already preparing for our next great season, because while the city slows down, we plan ahead. Projects, people, and pipelines. Everything starts taking shape for another strong year underground. We're also getting ready for our next hiring season in March. We want new people who want to build something that lasts. For more on us and to apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Mr. Reuter gets a colonoscopy.
All right, Mr. Reuter, just relax. We're almost finished.
Now, what am I looking at on the screen?
That's your large intestine.
Wow, the pipes of the human body. Incredible. This is just like when we use a camera for sewer inspection, except you probably don't find tree roots.
You'd be surprised what we find.
You know, once I found a bunch of Hot Wheels.
Hey, me too.
For a plumber who values healthy pipes, call Mr. Reuter.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
The Edmonton Firefighters Rooftop Campout for Muscular Dystrophy is February 18th to 20th. Edmonton firefighters are again braving the elements by camping on the roof of Fire Hall number 2. This year, they've added a little twist and will start the rooftop campout with no camping equipment. The more money they raise for muscular dystrophy, the more equipment they get to survive an Edmonton winter, with a final goal of getting off the roof and helping this incredible cause. Donate now at any Edmonton Fire Hall or online at edmontonrooftopcampout.ca.
Crave presents a new must-see original crime drama,
You think you can just walk away with drug money and nobody's gonna come find you?
The borderline.
You killed my friend.
Set along the Thousand Islands border, a cop blurs the line to protect his past.
I'm gonna keep you out of jail.
Starring Stephen Amell, Tamara Podemski, Hamza Haq, and Minnie Driver.
Did you catch the bad guys?
I always catch the bad guys.
The Borderline. Stream now. Only on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
You're listening to Sports 1440 and watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Sports 24/7. We are Sports 1440.
To the big program, 8:01 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, and Josh Fenwick with you here on Sports 1440 AM radio. Now, Duke, what's going on? Is Frank coming on at 9 or 8?
I think it's 9. I'm having this was all happening while I was out and about yesterday, and last week when we had the mix up with Frank, it was a miscommunication and misunderstanding by me about time zones, and I think I've fallen guilty to it again because
that's solid.
We were talking in Italy time, and then in my head of calculating, because I know it's 8 hours, I was thinking from not mountain time for some reason. Either way, I believe 9 o'clock is when Frank's going to be with us here.
Are you sure? Even right, so he'll be right in the middle. Like it'll be.
Oh yeah,
the
be a
first
little
period will be just.
Well, that's So that's kind of what in my
Denmark.
mind, I probably didn't even double check myself because I thought that this would have made sense because it's between the games. But I maybe if I'm gonna come up with any excuse. It's the
So what time is it in Italy then right now?
well, I think it's 4 o'clock there right now. And for some reason I thought it was already 5 because that's what Frank and I agreed on was 5 o'clock
That's
Italy time.
outstanding.
So listen, I'm an idiot. I'll take all the blame. I'll wear it. Keep in mind though, before you get mad at me, I've been battling an ear infection for the past.
Are you still going
5
on
days.
with this ear thing?
It's kind of, I think it's on the outs now, finally. So riddle me this, Kevin.
Okay.
Since we seem to have a few minutes to spare here.
Yeah.
So I go to the doctor on Friday afternoon, right? Just to a walk-in clinic. Haven't been to the doctor in I don't know how many years for anything really. And I explained to him, I was like, listen, never really had an ear infection. Don't know what it feels like. This kind of seems what it would feel like. Pretty plugged up on the side of my head, painful, etc. He does his usual thing, asks me some questions, sticks a little thing in there, looking around, gives me the explanation. Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's pretty swollen on the outside here, yada, yada. So he's like, I'm going to give you 2 prescriptions. One is ear drops and one is pills, both antibiotics, which is kind of what I was expecting in some variety. He says, all right, so try the eardrops for a couple days. And if they don't work, then go to the pills. He's like, because I'm not sure where the infection is. So as a result, I'm not sure the drops will be able to get to it. Because it's like topical, right? And so I ask him, I say, is there anything wrong with taking the pills and the eardrops at the same time? He said, no. I said, okay, well then if you don't think that these are going to work, why don't I just take the pills? He's like, no, start with the eardrops and give that a couple days. So which is what I did. They didn't really seem to be working at all. I'm just like eating ibuprofen like they're Mike and Ike's essentially to keep the pain at bay because the swelling on the side of my head feels so substantial. I started taking the pill antibiotics Sunday night when I got home from Hinton.
Okay.
Here we are a day later, and it already feels like it is well on its way to clearing it up. So I essentially just wasted 2 days, plus another whole price of a prescription on the eardrops.
What kind of doctor is this, Duke?
The guy at the walk-in clinic.
Yeah, but I mean,
he was very nice.
Well, what doctor says, okay, this doesn't do, well, you know, do this if this doesn't work? Like you should be just like he should know what he's talking about.
Well, that's what I kind of thought. But who am I to question? He's a doctor. I'm not. And as a result, I was a little, I probably could have saved myself whatever, the $20 that the eardrops cost.
Yeah.
By just getting the pills and just started taking them on Friday, by Sunday, I wouldn't have been in as much pain. And I probably could have stayed in Hinton overnight and went to the hotel pool with my nieces and nephews because there was a water slide in there. They were pumped about it.
Well, I told you, like, you should just, like, go into a pool and, like, dive down.
I'm pretty sure that's the worst thing for
No. That's exactly what you need. Ask his doctor. He'd probably tell you that.
Yeah.
Hey?
I'm not sure if that's the most ringing endorsement at this point.
How about, like, in Hinton, the elevation's probably up a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Did you feel anything like popping?
Not really. Like I said, it just felt like it feels like it needs to pop, but that's obviously not what the actual is. It's just like its whole side of its stuff because of the inflammation. So that's our 8:00 medical report on me, since I can't do time zones in Europe.
Not Fred says put a stake on it, and the Duke is on Delburne time, unknown.
Yeah, exactly. Live between the lines. It's my fault. I'm not running from it.
Blair texted in, wanted to know when Canada plays next. So it's tomorrow, Blair. And it will be the winner of Czech and Denmark. 8:40. That game is on today. And the Canada game tomorrow, likely the Czechs, would be at the same time, Duke, 8:40?
8:40.
Are you sure on this one?
Yes, that much I know, because thankfully this website gives it to me in mountain time. Maybe it was just a math issue, and maybe my counting was just wrong, where I just assumed that 5:00 rewind 8 hours was 8:00, which obviously it isn't.
Gary the Teamster says, not every doctor was top of the class, you know. Some of them were just okay in school. Some were the bottom of the bell curve guys. Eh?
I suppose that's true.
Like, I don't
and
know.
Also, once again, this is a walking clinic.
Well, okay.
Where they are probably just trying to get through everyone as best they can.
How long was your wait?
I got there. I probably waited in the waiting room maybe an hour. Because they also, like, there's also the family doctor. So you can only book an appointment if your family doctor is there at this particular clinic.
And you don't have a family doctor. This was just a walk-in.
Just a walk-in, yeah.
See, like, that probably should change, Duke. You're into your 30s here.
Yeah, but I'm like a nomad. I'm like a gypsy. I'm not staying in one place.
You should be like Smuckers from Seinfeld when Kramer took Smuckers the dog.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And took him in because we share the same affliction.
Well, that I'll be honest, that was next to my list. If I didn't have any luck at this walk-in clinic, I was going to call up the Tri-County vets out in Spruce Grove, where I took the cats to get snipped. I was going to give them a call, see if they could take a look at me, because they were very accommodating.
Like, that doesn't make any sense, Duke, that, you know, that this guy would...
Well, and that's like, so I asked specifically saying, is there anything wrong with taking the pills and the eardrops at the same time? And he said, no, but don't do it.
Well,
John, you listen to your doctor, right? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? You trust the experts.
How about this from John? Hey, Duke, oil of oregano works wonders on ear infections too, instead of those blasted eardrops. The oregano is a natural antibiotic and immune system booster.
Funnily enough, I because it really started to come on last Wednesday, kind of like right in the middle of the show. I started to feel it, pressure building up, and so I was like, all right, I'll give it a couple days, see if this is just like a sinus thing. Take some sinus and cold pills, whatever. I was reading online, like, home remedies or whatever you want to call it. This oil of oregano thing never came up, but I was doing whatever else. A warm compress, you make sure that ear stays up all the time when you're sleeping. I don't know. This is a lesson learned for me.
Well, this is from Ryan, Duke. Hey guys, family doctor in Whitecourt here. I can't speak exactly for the doc that the Duke saw, but my guess is the doctor thought he had an outer ear infection, which usually responds to drops and can avoid oral antibiotics, which are stronger. And we like to avoid oral antibiotics if we can for resistance reasons. The second prescription, if the drops didn't work, essentially saved him a second visit.
That sounds spot on based on scenario.
I think you should have went to the doctor that Kramer saw. You can, you know, his throat throat is very sore, especially when he drinks orange juice.
Yeah.
And then what did the doctor say? Been drinking out of the toilet?
Yeah.
No. Hot salsa. Find a vet that will give free advice and follow it. They are much smarter than human docs. Well, that's what we're talking about here. hot salsa because, as Kramer said, I'm not going to those lackeys, and I'll go to a vet any day. He can.
Hey, you go to the doctor, you get your wallet stolen while you're
that's
getting
Morty signed.
Yeah, exactly.
He can cure a frog, a pig, a chicken all in the same day. Tiger's really wondering about how your appointment went here.
Yeah, no, this was not a turn to the left and cough type situation, Tiger. Not that doctor. I think that's probably coming in another couple of years for him. But I think he can just do all that like prostate checks just via blood work now.
Probably,
I believe.
Yeah. 833-401-1440. All of a sudden, Duke, you've got like a whole lot of guys helping you out here. Rob texts in, hey, Duke, was Spec on early this morning? No. Well,
no.
So here's what happened. We thought we were going to have Frank here at 8 o'clock. And then so Spec changed his schedule.
Very accommodating. Always appreciate when Spec's willing to do that for us.
So Spec's going to come on here in about 10 minutes at 8:20. Frank, I believe at 9 o'clock, Duke.
Yeah.
I also sent Brent Sake a text now because I thought 9
was
open.
You thought 9 was open. So my ineptitude essentially is causing a little bit of a rolling effect here on the rest of the show, which has led to this 8 o'clock medical segment, essentially, which we're getting lots of good texts in.
Like this has been great. Like Mike even just says, hey, Duke, I'm not a doctor, but I'm an advanced care paramedic, registered nurse too. Overprescribing oral antibiotics can lead to resistance bacteria. So he was thinking if it was an outer ear infection, it would be treated without orals.
Hey, it makes sense. I absolutely believe it, but I just was confused at first because he gave me, and as the other text said, he was saving me another trip back, essentially, when the eardrops didn't work. But when I asked him, I said, should I get both prescriptions right now? And then he said yes.
Haxo says you should have asked Dr. Struddy. Could you imagine if Jason Strudwick would have given you
probably
advice
sort
here?
of told me to lob it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this whole experience, lesson learned. Like I said, it's the first time I've been to the doctor in quite a few years. I think probably since I retore my ACL. And that was just a trip to the emergency room to try and get some painkillers.
Look at Dallas. Oh, my goodness. Thank God you two idiots aren't doctors. Well, what have I done here, Dallas? I'm not the guy that's going to this.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor. That's why I trusted the advice of the doctor. I was just curious about the method. I still followed it to his rule.
Mm-hmm.
And now here I am. It just essentially meant the infection lasted a couple days longer.
I like when guys call us idiots too.
Well,
that's great.
Yeah, that's already well documented as exemplified at the start of this hour by my time zone incompetence. So whatever, it is what it is.
Canada and Sweden, Rachel Homan, in a little bit of a pickle here in the eighth end. Sweden picked up that single in 7 to lead at 5-4. Canada's got hammer. Homan's got 2 rocks left. And I believe Sweden was lying 2, Duke. Is that correct? I'd have to check. They haven't had the overhead of the rings here in the last bit. But sure. You want to have Spec on? Is that what you want to do now?
Yeah, Spec texted me, said he's ready to go. So if we want to hop out for a quick break, we can come back and have maybe an extended chat with Spec, I guess, if that works for him.
And then we'll have an update on the Canada-Sweden game here, curling, and also the Czechs and Denmark getting ready to go in men's hockey at 8:40. Winner plays Canada tomorrow morning at 8:40. When we come back, Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet on the Kevin Carey Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're also streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
The Hockey Super League is proud to launch its 9th season, delivering independent, borderless hockey. This year, over 125 teams will compete across Alberta, Saskatchewan, and for the first time ever, Colorado, USA, which showcase style action, cross-province rivalries, and a strong commitment to player development. The HSL is the premier destination for families seeking balance and athletes chasing the next level. The Hockey Super League. Hockey without limits. For athletes born in 2013 to 2018, visit hockeysuperleague.com to learn more.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Invest for today and tomorrow. Vision Credit Union makes it simple with 2 RRSP options to fit your goals. Choose a secure term deposit RRSP with guaranteed returns or a mutual fund RRSP offering higher growth potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams, whether it's retirement or your first home. The deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 8:16 in Edmonton. Rachel Holman just picked up a deuce here in the 8th end to lead Sweden 6-5 after 8. So Swedes will have the hammer in 9. Time now for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Fall in love with Buick for the next month of February, and you can lease a 2026 Buick Envision all-wheel drive with 0 down and $265 bi-weekly payments, and that includes the GST. Shop now at northgategm.com as we welcome in Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Spec.
How you guys doing this morning? It's tough when you come back from the break, eh? Duke, like sometimes you think.
I got you, Spec. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, there you go.
Hey.
I'm just saying, sometimes it's tough when you come back from the break for Duke. Like he's got to get the schedule all sorted and everything. It's complicated, eh?
Well, we had, but between that and his doctor's appointment, holy cow.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot for one man, Kev. It's a lot for one man.
He doesn't know if it's Italy or what the time zone is. Plus, the doctor that he's got, he's more of a quack, I think. You should get that doctor on, Duke, to explain exactly what happened.
Why? So we can get one more person here telling me how stupid I am, like as if there aren't enough of those already.
Oh man! So how was the weekend, Big Spec? How was family day and everything?
Everything's good. Everything's good. We didn't get much done this weekend. Those Olympics they inhibit productivity. Yeah. I would say to you.
well, it's funny. Like some people like watching them live in the morning. Some people go, I'm going to wait till later in the day and kind of do the recap. But for me, I'm more of the morning guy here, Spec. Like to watch it live, and even because there's good stuff on at like 5, 6 in the morning, and even before that too.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm not up watching the 4 a.m. hockey game. I must admit to that. I
Yeah.
wish they had two of them today. I wish they'd have spaced one out, put it this afternoon or tonight. But
Well, we got one coming up here at 8:40. Checking.
yeah, and then one after that, right? So we got two. The best one, I think, is Sweden, Latvia, probably. Sweden should handle them, but the Latvians have been a pain for everybody they play here.
Yeah.
In this thing, since their first game against US, they've had some tight games. So anyhow, I see Draisaitl came through with 3 points. They played him a lot this morning. He played over 24 minutes.
1 goal, 2 assists. Szymanski had a goal and an assist. Germany beat France 5-1.
Szymanski hasn't delivered a ton of production, but the coach must like him because he's out there on the power play. He's playing in important minutes, so he's really getting the full experience here. Like every time I watch Germany play, he's getting important ice time, and the puck's hasn't been going in. And I see him score one today, but you know what? Maybe there's a big goal left in his future here in the Olympics.
Well, and like, I'll be honest, I didn't expect him to play much at all. Did you?
Yeah, me neither. No, me neither.
And it's funny, you look at him, and I know it's Germany and the United States, but like Kyle Connor's not playing at all for the Americans, and this is a legitimate, he's a 40 goal guy in the NHL.
Well, didn't he go 2 games in a row without a shot on goal?
Yeah, so I think he's right now the 14th forward on this team.
And that happened to him at 4 Nations too. So that's not a great look.
Yeah.
It's not a great look. Like sometimes we say, how come the coach doesn't like that guy? And man, the coach should play that guy more. He just doesn't like him. It's kind of like Sam Hallam in Sweden and Matthias Ekholm. You know, it's fair to say, I wonder what happened there because Ekholm's a good player. Connor's a good player and he gets a chance, and in big international competitions, he doesn't deliver here. At least the last 2 of them. And if Sullivan's going to sit him down, how can you blame a guy that sits down a player that had 0 across the stat line every day? You got to earn your place on these teams, or there's a good player waiting to take your job, and that's what's going on with Kyle Connor.
What have you thought about Macklin Celebrini here, Spec? I mean, I was saying earlier, I mean, this guy doesn't look like he's 19 years old, that's for sure.
Yeah, we all anyone who engaged in the conversation of whether or not you should have a 19-year-old on this team, it just makes you feel like, geez, I'm a dummy. I don't really recall if I had a hard stand on it, but I remember we all talked about it. Geez, I don't know, like maybe you wait till the next cycle for this kid. He's only 19. Well, holy man, is he a good player?
Wow. You're right, Spec. Well, remember, because it was always, okay, what are they going to have Bedard and Celebrini, or can he have one of them, or can you have none of them?
That's legitimate to talk about that. I mean, obviously hindsight makes you, makes you reshape your opinion. He's like, when a great player meets a big moment, sometimes they get even better. Like some players thrive in this situation. Some guys, you put this 19-year-old kid on McDavid's wing, and he's risen. He's gotten better. He's playing harder. He's making more plays. Like, it's amazing. If I'm San Jose, I'm just thrilled with the fact that I know if I can get this kid into some big games here in the playoffs, I probably expect him to play even better than he's been playing for me so far. So, he's it, man. This kid's it. He's going to be around for a long time. We're going to be happy to have him.
And I always think about like 1987 and the Canada Cup, and Mario Lemieux hadn't done anything yet. On the stage where he was a champion yet, right? A Stanley Cup champion, but he learned from all those guys. Like the Oiler guys, because there was like a half dozen of them on the team, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to go a long way for a guy like Celebrini here.
Oh, if you're San Jose, this is all good. Arrows up, man.
Yeah.
If Mike Greer can, there's no one. Obviously, he knew he had a guy to build a franchise around before the Olympics started. But I think that if the trade deadline comes and there's a veteran guy, and I don't even know how far San Jose is out of the playoffs. A couple points here, they're right in the race. So, you know what? Like, maybe speed the timeline up. You got something here. You got something here. Be sure fun to see Macklin Celebrini pull that team into a playoff position.
Anyone besides Celebrini that, and hey, we knew all these guys, they're world-class players. We knew that Canada was going to be, especially at the forward position, is good,
Yep.
or if not better than any other team depth wise. But anybody maybe catching your eye? Like, is it maybe a Horvat or a?
Yeah,
maybe
I mean, a few guys.
Yeah.
I certainly, I was texting with a colleague, Ben Kuzma in Vancouver the other day. How on earth did Vancouver, with all the player movement they've had and big names coming and going, how did they end up not keeping the best player of all of them?
Yeah.
You know, Bo Horvat's a better player than Pettersson. He's a better player than JT Miller. You know, he's, I mean, obviously he's not Quinn Hughes. It's a different position, but God, he's a good player. He's just a solid citizen. Vancouver could use that guy, right?
Yeah.
And Nick Suzuki, I thought would be a little more impactful. He's kind of struggling to find his way, don't you think?
A little bit, but again, this is something new for him too. So, and again, when you look at it, they've only played 3 games. The real bullets start going tomorrow, likely against the Czechs. So I'm looking to see a little more from Suzuki too. The one thing for me too, Spec, is that the Sid Crosby line with Marner and Stone, they have the ability. They'll go up against anyone. So the other team's best players is where you're going to see Crosby going head to head, and I think that line's been really good.
Oh yeah, yeah. This appreciation for Mark Stone, I'm hearing. You know, you're hearing it out of a lot of guys in the East who don't see enough of Vegas, right? And that's really what it is. Vegas comes on late at night, and they watch a little Mark Stone. But now that you're watching every shift, you go, "Oh man, this guy's good." It's incredible how you can still be that effective at this level of hockey, being as slow as he is. He's not a quick player, right? But man, does he get the job done.
His positional play, Spec, that's what, he's in the right spots all the time. And his positional play allows him to still compete without that speed.
Yep.
Yeah,
for sure. And he's smart. He's got great hands.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Marner's played well too. Marner's dug in here, and Marner's taken some hits to make some plays. And obviously, he's such a high-level skill player. Marner's going to go down in history as a guy that there was always so much noise around him for so much of his career, right? The Toronto kid playing in Toronto, that you really have to. It's nice to see him in Vegas. It'll be nice to watch him play, playoff series and kind of get out of that Toronto spotlight and let's really watch the player. And we're seeing him now. There's no question how good a player he is, but he's a different player when he's not underneath that microscope in Toronto, for sure.
Anyone on the back end, Spec, that's maybe caught your eye a little more than others?
Everyone's leaning on Parayko because he made like one mistake.
That one giveaway, yeah.
Oh boy, you made a giveaway! Like, holy cow! I don't. It's an awfully good defense. We always look at it here in Edmonton through the Bouchard lens. Should Bouchard be playing for this defense? And you know what? Of course he could play for this defense. So could Mackenzie Weegar. He could play for this defense. It's a high-end group of guys. They're good players. Makar is just unbelievably elite as a power play guy. But yeah, Bouchard could play for this team, absolutely. But are they a worse team because he's not playing for them? I don't know. How many goals are given up here?
Well, just
2,
3, right? 3, 2, and
3.
then
They gave up 2 in the last game. Yeah, Bennington led in 2 the last game, so they've given up a goal a game. I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah. What have you thought of
going in goal with tomorrow?
Binsley's going tomorrow? Yeah.
Is that been announced officially?
No, but I mean he's Cooper's guy. He's Cooper's guy. So
yeah.
It's just that it's that simple. And then you could read into when he was asked about his starting goalie in game 1. When did he figure that out? And what did he say 358 days ago?
Yeah.
So that he's like that's the guy right now. So
I would say you're right.
And had the shutout against and again likely will be the Czechs, right? And he had the shutout in the opener as well. So
listen, if he's going to play at this level, you can't go wrong. Like the only question with Bennington is, are you going to get the St. Louis Bennington? And obviously, he's got another gear that he kicks into when he's playing behind a good team. And it's probably a lesson that those of us in Edmonton have probably learned and relearned, and still haven't figured out maybe with Stu Skinner. Is a goalie's performance is dependent on how the team's playing in front of them. There is no goalie that can survive a certain level of grade A chance. And I think Binnington's a great example of this. Look how bad he's been in St. Louis and how good he is behind this team.
Hey, what do you thought of Drew Doughty so far?
He's hanging in there. I got no problem with Drew Doughty's game.
That was the one guy I was concerned about on the back end because I just, being hurt and, he's got a lot of miles on him. So,
I mean, there's another level here, right? They have only played, the best team they've played are the Czechs.
Yeah.
And the Czechs are okay, against this team. Like this Canada team is so unbelievably good, line after line, guy after guy. That even the Czechs, like, they don't stand a chance. They're not upset in Canada tomorrow. If they are, it would be the upset of my lifetime. So watching Doughty play, he's passing the test against all these teams. We're not going to really know. I mean, there's really a semifinal and a final that we're going to see where there's a comparable opponent. And then it's too late to turn back.
You would think Sweden's going to beat Latvia here, Spec, this afternoon. You would think that. And then Sweden's going to play the USA in the quarter, in the next round, So, I mean, that's a tough matchup right off the hop in a quarterfinal game there.
Yes, for sure.
Swiss has Finland, and Germany's got Slovakia. So
the U.S. finished second in the tournament, and they get the worst quarterfinal draw, right?
They do, yeah. So. And and Sweden hasn't been very good here, but in a one game showdown, they could come out and beat the USA. They could.
Oh, for sure. In a winner go home game, you'll get a different Sweden in that game. Yeah, no, that'll be. Hey, listen, it's kind of goofy that Canada's looking at playing. I mean, their road to the if they can keep winning, their road to the gold medal. Before the gold medal game, their toughest opponent will be one day against probably Finland.
Yeah, exactly.
And we probably put Finland as the 4 seed in this tournament, wouldn't we?
That's what I would have had them. And you would have Sweden at 3, right?
So, I mean, that's just the schedule. We carp about the schedule in the NHL too. How can those two teams meet in the first round? Well, you don't get to remake the schedule every time the medal round starts. You make it at the start, and if Sweden dips down and falls into a place where they play the U.S., that's just the way it is. You got to live with it.
Mark Spector with us on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. Oilers with an optional back on the ice this afternoon. 2 bells, I guess. Down at, is it the downtown community or is it at Rogers?
I thought it was at Rogers. I'm not sure. Either way, it's one of the two.
Yeah. So what
Boys
do you think?
Backing down a little bit.
Yeah, I think it would be quite well attended today, I would think.
I don't know about that. I'm told we'll find out this morning more who's expected to arrive. I think tomorrow is the first day of mandatory.
Right. Correct.
Right. So, I mean, what do we got? It's Tuesday. So you got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's 5 days of practice before they get in the plane Monday if they want all 5 days. I'm not sure if I'm an NHL player that I need the 6th today.
Yeah.
There's certain guys ought to be there. Like I'm going to hope the Trent Fredericks of the world are there.
Yeah.
But
they would leave Tuesday, right, Spec? Because they play Wednesday, next Wednesday.
Leaving Monday.
They're leaving Monday to go down to the area?
Yeah, they're leaving Monday.
Do you think there might be some load management as far as like Leon and Connor go? Because it's a tough schedule when they come back. They would get back on the Monday, I would imagine, at some point. And then they got, the back-to-back in Anaheim and LA. And then actually it's 3 and 4 nights, but actually it's an afternoon game on the 28th in San Jose. So that's a tough schedule.
Yeah, it's, I mean, there are teams that have like 8 guys at this thing.
Yeah.
So it's not, the Oilers have their best 2 guys for sure, but it's not like poor Edmonton. They've only got 2 guys that are dealing with it. We kind of think that Connor McDavid's going to be. When's the gold medal games? On the Sunday or the Saturday?
Sunday at like 6:40 our time.
6:40 a.m. our time. Okay, Sunday. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not sure that you don't give that you come back with the back-to-back. What is it? Wednesday, Thursday, right?
Yeah, and then
LA team. So, you might give Connor one of those off. Now, Leon might play his last game tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and then he'll have a week between games.
Yeah.
So let's see how Germany does. They're going to the whip on Leon, like they're using him, man. They're playing him, man.
How do they ever?
I thought they might. I didn't see the game today, but I thought that I looked at, they're up 3-0 in the first period, and they still played them 7:30 in the third period in a 5-1 game. I thought that they might lay off them a little bit. I'm not sure why they went so hard on them.
Well, and then you're looking at Mo Sider too. He's playing kind of close to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So they just don't have the depth. That's what they're looking at.
No, they don't for sure, but I don't know. Anyway, Leon's given it everything he's got. I watched the USA game. They didn't have, they're not beating the USA.
Yeah.
Right. They're just not. That Germany team, it's good. It's better than it's been, but line for line, it's not even close when you look at that lineup against the American roster. And, all they got to do is stop Leon from running their show, which they did. They sicked both Kachuk brothers on him. And he played 28 minutes the night before. And, he didn't have a big night, and Germany doesn't win. I think unless Leon leads, I'm not sure that there's anyone following there.
Hey, Spec, got a couple texts rolling in about the grandchild watch. What's going on?
Yeah, still watching.
Wow.
Still watching. I know. Wife beat the snowstorm. She went back out to attend here last night. So thanks for asking, everybody. We're still waiting. Everything's cool. I think the due date's like Thursday. So I guess that's in 2 days, eh?
Yeah. Well,
so
3
they'll
days.
have to, you know what? I'm just a grandfather sitting out here shoveling snow. A little snow management to do today, Kev. Holy man, did it snow.
Where are you? You're at the lake still, or what?
The lake, there's looks like almost a 9-10 inches of snow on top of the hot tub. How's the guy supposed to get in the hot tub when there's that much snow on top of it?
I don't know. Maybe Duke can come out because he needs to unplug his ear. If you threw him under the water in the hot tub, maybe that would help him.
Yeah, well, I got a snowblower that needs attending to here.
Duke's not doing any snow blowing up there. So,
oh boy, there's a good bit of snow. So that's nice. Winter's back, folks. It's nice to have winter back.
It's cold for the next week or so too.
Yeah, I know.
Good stuff. Spec, we'll talk to you tomorrow in your regular time slot at 8:00.
Yeah, regular time slot. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy the hockey.
Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet on the mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC, powered by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This truck's for you. Check them out at northgategm.com. When we come back, Lorianne Munzer. It is now, by the way, 6-6 Sweden and Canada in the 10th end. Holman's got the hammer. So she's got to nail this one down, folks. Can't afford to go to 3-4. Really needs a victory over Sweden here. Lorianne Munzer, when we return, Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Business owners, if rising electricity costs are cutting into your profits, there's a smarter way forward. Right now, federal clean technology tax credits can cover 30 to over 50% of the cost of a commercial solar system, delivering an immediate return on your investment. And in Edmonton and Sturgeon County, the Commercial Clean Energy Improvement Program offers long-term financing for up to 20 years, making solar more affordable than ever. Lock in lower energy costs for decades and strengthen your bottom line. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com to get started. Do you work for a company that wants to reach people who love sports? Or maybe you're looking to hire people who love sports. Sports 1440 partners with dozens of local businesses, connecting with tens of thousands of Edmonton sports fans every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. Contact our sales team today to see what Sports 1440 can do for you. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca to get started.
Your Prospects Hockey League's fourth season is underway. The JPHL offers elite athletic and academic opportunities across multiple AAA divisions. With over 55 teams, the JPHL is redefining the family experience by making elite hockey financially accessible. All games are broadcast live on Silent Ice TV, featuring a showcase-style schedule and competitive matchups. Learn why the JPHL is Western Canada's fastest-growing elite hockey development stream at juniorprospectshockeyleague.com.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Free trips, free iPads, a barbecue, a wood stove, the #1 dealer in the world. What? Who cares? How about no pressure, a great deal, finance rates as low as 0%, trade values you can be happy with, and an indoor showroom. And we're pretty good people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
Hello. You're never going to believe this. Booster Juice called your name today. You can get a free smoothie or acai bowl.
No way. I'm heading there now.
Oh my gosh, you and my brother have the same name. Okay, I'm calling him next. I'm hanging up.
Booster Juice Names of the Day is back. 2 names are selected each day, and if your name matches, you can get a free smoothie or an acai bowl. Watch for your name on the Booster Rewards app and social media. Must be an app member to qualify. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on. River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at Tap 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the center bar. Plus, catch all the biggest games, every goal, every slam dunk. River Cree is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreeresort.com.
River Tree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
It's a guy.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Loca Quality Market. Your next dinner is ready with Loca Quality Market's gourmet meals. Choose from over 200 chef-prepared meals. Shop local at loca.ca.
The Kevin Karius Show, breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams, even though his favorite Junior A hockey team is the Yorkton Terriers. Thanks for checking in with Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 842 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne with you. Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. It is 6-6 in the 10th end. Canada and Sweden, and Canada with the hammer. And they're coming up to third rocks here, final. No, that's the third, Duke. They've got 3 rocks left. This is the third.
You said they're coming up on third rocks.
Well, that's 3 rocks left. Now 2 for Sweden and 3 for Canada. Come on now. Get your hearing straightened out. Get your hearing straightened out.
No.
King of Fort Nasty texts, and I love how every time Karius brings up how many days ago Cooper knew he was going to go with Binnington. Number always changes, LOL. First KK said 362. Today he says 358. It was 365, Cooper said. I thought it was 358, wasn't it, Duke?
I thought it was 2.
Yeah, I think King's out here a little bit. Time to welcome in our Olympic champion from 2004, Lorianne Munzer. Good morning, Lorianne. How was your family day and family day weekend?
Good morning, Kevin. It was awesome. It was not so white, so I was able to get outside for a really good fat bike. It was like the first time out this year and felt like spring. And then was out for a walk yesterday, and then holy moly, the white stuff. I could actually go out skiing out the door now.
No kidding, yeah. Can you that big fat bike with the big tires, does that go through the snow like this quite easily, or how's it work?
It does. It's funny because I thought the fat bike could ride over everything. Powder snow, it does not do very well. It's more, shallower snow, more hard packed snow is the optimal, but you can literally go anywhere. So you're always looking for the good path, something a little gritty versus just icy. That's what the studs are for, because you can get fat tire bikes without the studs, but with the studs for fall, winter, and early spring riding, you just never know when you're going to hit that patch of ice that you didn't see. And those studs, even though it's, a millimeter, 2 or 3 millimeters out of the tire, is enough to keep you upright and safe.
Yeah, I can't imagine how big of a difference it is when you have those studs on there.
Oh, it's a difference between day and night. It's like it's a good ride, and then all of a sudden you're flat on the ground. You go, "What the heck did I hit?" And you'll never see it, right? I think in skiing you call them no-see-ums. They're the things that grab your boot and flip you. But the difference of riding a mountain bike to a fat bike is like driving a Jeep. A Jeep, you can roll over just about everything. You can go on some crazy inclines. The descents are really good, and it's a lot of fun.
Lori-Ann Munzer with us on Sports 1440. How much are the Olympics consuming your TV habits and watching all the events?
I was chuckling when Speck was on, and he goes, "Yeah, it hinders your productivity." I am so with him. I think, Canada should shut down except for, essential services, because it's really hard for me, it's really hard to get any work done. I've got my one eye right now on the live team pursuit, women's pursuit that's coming up. Japan, I believe, just took the bronze medal over the US. So it's 2 teams on the oval ice. So very similar to track cycling when they have the pursuit. 3 riders, or 3 skaters, they do 6 laps, but they have to stay together. So team pursuit on the track is a little different because the first rider does 1 lap, peels off. The second rider does the second lap, so essentially 2 laps, then peels off. And then the final rider has to do all 3. But in the team speed skating pursuit, you have to stay all together. You start together, you finish together. And holy moly, it's, we're going for gold up against the Netherlands right now.
Yeah. What's the strategy then? Like, is obviously your anchor has to be your best competitor, I would imagine, right?
In cycling, yes. In speed skating, it's a little different because you're not peeling off. You're not just doing 1 lap. You actually have to do all 6 laps together. And if you don't, then you get disqualified. The other team just takes the win. So everybody has to have a powerful start. You have to be able to stay together. And sometimes that's why you'll actually see the hand of the second and third place rider touching the back of the other, so that you're connected and that you keep together, you stay together, because otherwise the elastic band goes. It's, you open up a gap and then you start coming into each other and you pick up speed because of the draft. And you've got to be in just that precision spot because you can't make an error. Your crossovers turning left have to be spot on. You can't clip your skates. You can't clip each other's skates. So you literally have to be mirrored and sink into the position, left to right, but still going powerfully, straight as possible around the oval there. And sometimes it's a wider line so that you can take the shorter line to gain speed or a little bit more time. The cool part around the track is that you can see right now, you can see where Canada is, you can see where the Netherlands is. Right now, it looks like, Netherlands is 0.6 of a second faster. So it's really, really close times here as they go around the track and each lap. So it's pretty cool to see where they are and what the strategy is. Canada's dropping another 1/10, so they're down 0.75 of a second. And one of the last heats that we saw, the team actually crossed the finish line just a hair faster than the other in the semifinals there beforehand. So, Netherlands is picking up speed. And I think one of the things, though, Kevin, is the Netherlands really has the programs, the developmental programs, and we really start to see that at the Olympics, those countries that have poured the investment into training athletes, not just the older athletes, but also as kids, as young as 10, 12, 14 years old, and then how they're bringing them, developing them into the program, because this isn't just a 1 year, oh, I want to go try speed skating, or I want to go try track cycling. Yes, you can do it. But if you're looking to win a gold medal, if you're looking to get on the podium, there's a lot of different tactics. There's a lot of technique. There's a lot of skill that has to go into the training. You can show up and be a powerhouse, no doubt, but it's somebody who's got more technique, the skill, maybe a couple more years or a couple more months over you that really has that part of the game down pat. And then it's going to be the experience and the mindset game, the mental aspect of it that, gets the athletes over and onto the podium.
Lorianne Munzer with us on Sports 1440. We were just watching the tail end of the curling here, Lorianne, and Canada defeated Sweden, Rachel Homan, 8-6, picking up a deuce in 10, so she improves to 4-3. It's been an up and down Olympics so far for the Homan rink, and what do you think it is, Lorianne, just because they've been on the world stage, at the Worlds and, the Scotties, they're one of the best teams in the world, but for some reason, they haven't been able to translate that to Olympic success yet. Basically, a must-win situation for them this morning, and they came through with it. But is it just because it's the pressure of the Olympics on the big world stage here?
I think so. I'm going to come back to that because you know what? Canada just won gold in the women's pursuit. They just took the gold. It's like, yes. And their starting woman, do you know how short she is? She's 6'2". She's 6'2". So I can tell you, the second and third skaters, holy moly, they get the best draft ever. The best draft ever. So it's huge. Okay.
I think we got to get that.
To celebrate that.
So it should be on CBC. So go to 100 or whatever.
Yeah, just watching it on the gem there.
Oh,
so
okay.
When you talk about this, the Canadians coming back from a 0.6, 0.7 deficit is knowing when to turn it on and when to turn it off. And I think part and parcel going into curling there with Holman and the team, sometimes it's the Olympic jitters. Sometimes it can really get you. Sometimes it's, well, there was some heated conversations before with the men's game previously a few days ago, and that can really take you off your game. But sometimes it's just the way it goes. Sometimes the Olympics, for some athletes, it's the nemesis, Kevin. It just, no matter what you do, look at Mikhail Schifrin. I'm thinking that, one of the best World Cup and World Championship skiers. Mm-hmm. She's not doing that great here. And sometimes it just is what it is. It is the mental game because everybody has been preparing for this moment. Physically, you're going to be there. But that mental mindset game is what will take you off or it will move you forward. And sometimes it's the stupid little things that will take you off the game. And then it's other things that will be just, you don't even hear it. At the Olympics, there was 6,000 people in the stadium that I was competing in. Kevin, I never heard a sound because I was just zoned out. I knew exactly what I was going to do before it happened. I could see it in my mind. I could feel it. And sometimes athletes, they can go through that and they have a similar experience, but some of them is a different experience. Katrina LeMay-Doan, she would see and hear everything around her, which is total opposite from mine, because if I was doing that, I was totally distracted, and yet they're individual events. I think having a team behind you and with you, oh my gosh, that builds confidence, that builds belief when it starts to get lower. It can also build it up for everybody. And sometimes it's just one of those things you're just not on. So then what do you do with that? Do you go down that rabbit train and just go, oh, I can't do it? So then, you tap out, or you try and make the best of the current situation. We're never, ever going to know all the ins and the outs of the athletes, but it's who puts it together the best at the moment when it counts the most.
Yeah, so a gold for Canada women's team pursuit speed skating. I just saw the replay of it, Lorianne, and one of the skaters kind of was celebrating with the coach, and sort of the coach wiped her out and everything. Isabel Wiedemann, Valerie Malte, and Ivani Blondin. So it's back-to-back Olympic gold medals for Canada in that event. So 12 medals in total now, including the 3 golds. So where are they at, like, as a whole, Lorianne? We were, it was a pretty decent weekend. Finally got some gold medals, too. They had 26 medals in the last Winter Games. Are they kind of on track here? Are you disappointed as a team? Where are you at as a whole here?
Well, I think we can compare Olympics to previous Olympics. If you think back, I had done a Google search on the weekends, 1988, we had no gold medals. We won no gold medals. And there's been a few of them. Sometimes it happens. The other thing is looking into it, Kevin, going, what is the development programs like? Mm-hmm. Are there development programs? Are we building our athletes? I think sometimes the age of an athlete is not something to be considered. However, we've talked about this in, I'll call it more of an anaerobic or the sprint sports where, the younger athletes will have the speed. They may not have the skill, but if they have the speed, the footwork, they're going to be able to excel. If you look at Kaylee Humphreys, she's now not representing Canada in bobsleigh. She's gone over to the U.S. Lots of different stuff going on there. But she's 40 years old. If you watch the monobob, Elaine Myers Taylor is her name. She's 41. Like, holy moly. You've got one fast start. And that is where age, if you can master the start, let's just say it's 10 steps and then you pop into your sled, right? Or you hop onto, what do they call it? The cafeteria tray for skeleton. Your start is the most important, but it's not repeat. It's one. And then you've got to maintain the control of your core, where you're going, your head, just that sort of thing. So it's more the skill element takes into place. But with this is just certain sports are going to go more towards age and speed. Some are not going to be towards that. And, development will say a lot. Are you pouring investments into your athletes? Are you developing them, or are you kind of taking them with 2 years to go, 4 years to go out? That's a little bit of a problem because they won't have the same experience as like the Dutch who, they're born on skates. They're also born on bicycles in the summertime because they're perfect cross-training sports for each other. And when you think about it, we don't have those programs, Kevin. We don't have a lot of those programs. We don't have the athletes to, build up. When I was racing and training, I was the top female in Canada. So how do you go faster? How do you get stronger? You race and train with the men. And that's exactly what I did because I couldn't go where there were other faster athletes around the world, like to Germany, to Australia. My God, I would have loved to have gone to Australia and trained with Anna Mears, world champion, Olympic champion, just an incredible athlete all around. But she also has a support. They have the Australia Institute of Support. So there's development there. And that's the one key thing that I see is missing with our athletes.
Great insight, Lorianne. Enjoy the final week here of the Olympics, and we'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Yeah, Lorianne Munzer, Olympic medalist from 2004. Top of the hour, Frank Saravalli will be by, we hope. See if Frank's got the time right. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fusion Promo Marketing. Expand your brand, high-quality promotional products for your businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Get noticed at fusionpromomarketing.ca. That's Fusion with a Z. Here is the Duke.
Sports 1440 update.
Team Canada in Italy this morning. Rachel Holman and her women's curling team just finished beating Sweden 7-6, and the women's short track team pursuit taking home gold medal and defeating the Netherlands in their final race. Men's aerials, women's aerials, and the women's snowboard slopestyle final, all with Canadians in the field, have been postponed due to weather. In case you missed it yesterday, Megan Oldham picked up what was then Canada's second gold medal of the games in the women's big air, and our women's hockey team punched its ticket to the gold medal game after beating Switzerland 2-1. Marie-Philippe Poulin became the sport's all-time leading scorer at the Olympics with 2 goals in the win. Still to come today, Madeline Shazaz has her short program in women's singles figure skating. Men's 2-man bobsleigh has their final 2 runs, 2 Canadian teams in that field. Brad Jacobs of the men's curling team will take on Great Britain, and Dylan Deschamps will ski for a medal in the men's big air. Outside of the Canadian spectrum, quarterfinal qualifier games for the men's hockey are on today. Leon Draisaitl 3 points in Germany's 5-1 win over France. The Swiss topped Italy 3-0. Czechia currently taking on Denmark, and Sweden will play Latvia at 1:10. From the NHL, Brandon Bussey and the Carolina Hurricanes agreed on a 3-year extension with an AAV of $1.9 million, and the San Jose Sharks placing Jeff Skinner on unconditional waivers with intent of contract termination. Coming up in Hour 3 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV, as well as Mavs.com reporter Eddie Sefko. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com. McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, junior chicken, or chicken snack wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Whoa, I gotta put some money on the game tonight. We hit our monthly budget. Whoa, how did you get in here? I'm you, the responsible you. We're right. We'll play another time. Sounds more like us.
If you gamble, use your game sense. Visit GameSenseAB.ca.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 9:02 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Benrick with you here on a Tuesday morning. Again, roads were really sketchy this morning, and we're going to have snow for most of the day in Edmonton and area, and it's going to be, well, get colder as the day goes on. Looking at the lows of minus 23 tonight, and tomorrow is going to be cold as well. A high of minus 21, 22. Below, and then even colder at night, dropping down to minus 26, 27. So stay warm. And again, there are some snowfall warnings in and around Edmonton and area. Just awaiting the arrival of one Frank Saravalli, who was just taking in the United States practice this morning. We'll also have Brent Sake is going to join us at 10:40. World's longest hockey game wrapped up yesterday at Saker's Acres, so last night. So we'll have Saker on to give us some totals and talk about how things went. I was lucky enough to go out there on Sunday morning and had a good little visit with a few of the guys. Oh, excuse me. And we'll have Saker on at 10:40. That Czech-Denmark game is closing out here, getting close to the first period being over. Not a whole heck of a lot going on. It's scoreless with 4:30 left in the opening frame. Shots on goal, 8 for the Czechs and 4 for Denmark. So they've got the quarterfinals. As far as the qualification for the quarterfinals, 2 games in the books. This one almost at the end of the first period. And then Sweden and Latvia will get underway this afternoon at about 1:30 Edmonton time. So far this morning, Germany beat France by a score of 5-1. Leon Draisaitl had 1 goal, 2 assists. Josh Szymanski had 1 goal, 1 assist. So the 2 Oilers prominent there in Germany's win over France 5-1, and the Swiss defeat Italy by a score of 3-0. So how it shapes up for the quarterfinals, it's going to be Germany and Slovakia, and then Switzerland will take on Finland. Canada will play the winner of the Czechs and Denmark. The United States will play the winner of Sweden and Latvia. I mean, that's a tough goal right off the hop for a quarterfinal matchup for the United States of America taking on Sweden. Text 833-401-1440. We were talking about Canada's roster and brought up Mark Stone. Jordan texts in and says, I hate Stone, but he's smart like Corey Perry. The one thing with Mark Stone, and again, we talked about his positional play and how good he is, and that causes him, that gives him the edge because he's a step behind some guys. That's just the way it is. He doesn't have the foot speed of other players on this team. But if you are in better position, well, it gives you a little bit of a head start, doesn't it? So, you see that with Stone. The other thing with Mark Stone, if you ever see the knob on his stick, like he tapes it like it's like the size of bigger than a tennis racket. That's how much, tape he goes and uses, and it's just massive. But that's kind of what he's been used to. Most guys, it seems like they go smaller with how their knob uses and tape and things like that. Of course, there's that cloth tape that everyone has now, and that's what Mark Stone uses, and it's just massive on that. Text 833-401-1440. Hot Salsa says, I just want to break the Kachuk brothers in half. Matthew chirping, and then his ugly sister Brady chirping in the background over Matthew's shoulder. What a pair of idiots those two are. That's something, eh? Schwackhammer, is the game tomorrow on Radio Canada? I don't know. We talked about this all last week. So it's crazy. Time now for the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing, the plumber to call when the toilet mysteriously breaks after your jalapeno pepper popper fueled game night with the fellows. That's mrreuter.ca, as we welcome in Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV. Good morning, Frank. How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing, Kevin?
Good. How's Italy treating you? Were you just at the American practice this morning?
I was. The U.S. and Canada practiced back to back, and it's a beautiful. The sun is setting here on a beautiful day.
Wow.
16 degrees centigrade today. So it feels like spring. And it's kind of I know there were the play-in preliminaries today, the qualifying you'd call them, but really kind of feels like the free skate is over and it's time for the big boys to hit the ice.
Yeah. What did you make? Anything come out of that American practice? I saw you had a post just with Kyle Connor being still the 14th forward.
Yeah, Mike Sullivan was saying that he felt like Clayton Keller came in and really gave them a different dimension. And, it's not set in stone that Kyle Connor is going to be out. But honestly, the first thing I think of when I hear that and see that Kyle Connor is going to be out, I think back to the Four Nations championship game and the fact that he was a healthy scratch. I mean, it's kind of clear that this coaching staff isn't a huge believer in him, and makes you think, should they have added a different dimensional forward, meaning a Cole Caulfield or a Jason Robertson or someone like that might have just given them a little bit something different.
Why do you think that is, Frank? Why do you think the coaching staff doesn't have the confidence in them right now?
I don't know. It's hard to answer. I'd say that probably some of it is a fit online. And I do wonder if that's also part of what cost Mark Scheifele a spot on Team Canada is, hey, Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele are really good together. Apart, are they as impactful? I think that's definitely something to monitor and keep in mind.
Yeah. Just with that American team, awaiting the winner of Sweden and Latvia, what have you liked about the Americans so far? And we'll get to Canada in a moment here too.
Yeah, they've been pretty steady, I would say. They haven't won by brute force. They haven't been overwhelming like Canada has. And they haven't been as connected as Canada has been. Like sitting in the arena and watching those two teams play back to back is a pretty stark difference. That said, I think what is clear is that they're not gold medal favorites. It's Canada that's in a clear tier of its own. And then there's the U.S. and then there's everyone else. So, I mean, barring some kind of huge upset here, like I think we're destined to get the game that we have been wanting. But the U.S. they say unfinished product. They say we're building. They say we're learning how to win together. And my thing is like, your team has been together as long as Canada. And in some ways you have a leg up. You've played in the U.S. National Development Program together for years. Like you should have better chemistry right off the hop than Canada does. And yet I don't really think that's been the case. So maybe some surprises in how they've managed the puck in their own end that I think it's been a little bit sloppy at times. But the positive would be that they've gotten better as the tournament has gone on. And their best game was against Leon Draisaitl in Germany on Sunday.
Yeah. Frank Saravalli with us on Sports 1440. What have you thought about the Kachucks playing with Eichel here? And what have you kind of noticed with that line?
I mean, I think it's been the second best line in the tournament, second only to McDavid's line. And I mean, at every turn, they've been really impactful. So I don't have any question about their line. And Brock Nelson's line has been really good for the U.S. My question would be, after a really quiet game one, can Austin Matthews continue to produce at the level that he has in these last two games? Because if so, the U.S. is going to be incredibly dangerous. They absolutely, put this in Sharpie, underline it twice. They cannot win if Austin Matthews isn't contributing at a high level. He has been the last couple games and has been really good, but they become a lot more one-dimensional, with just a couple lines going, that it's going to be really difficult to combat Canada's depth.
Yeah. And you said it, McDavid and Celebrini have been just lights out together. I mean, when you talk about Macklin Celebrini, I mean, it's just unbelievable how well he's playing and how he's raised his level here at these Olympic Games.
And I was just talking to Rick Tocchet a couple minutes ago after Canada exited the ice, and he said it's been the biggest eye-opener for him in this tournament. Not how good of a player he is, but how nice of a kid he is and how well-liked he is in that Canadian room because of the humility that he has. Like, there's no ego. His initial worry heading into the tournament was, would I even be playing in the games or would I be a healthy scratch? Like, that's how he thought of it. And to show up at the rink and find out that you're on Connor McDavid's line, the top line, and then at some point, the ridiculous embarrassment of riches that Canada has, that they can put 3 different Hart Trophy candidates on the same line. I mean, it's crazy. And so the crazy thing about that is, if you put McDavid, Celebrini, and McKinnon together, which I'd imagine they will go back to, Celebrini becomes the 3rd leading scorer on that line. How crazy is that?
Yeah. What is it about that connection, like the almost immediate chemistry that Celebrini and McDavid have kind of struck here?
Big brains.
Yeah.
I mean, Celebrini can think the game in a way that not only can he move and he's big and strong, but he can think the game on McDavid's level. And that is a key differentiator.
Yeah, and like when you add, Wilson's been there on the line for, parts of the tournament, and McKinnon now. What did you think when, McKinnon and McDavid kind of got thrown over the boards there for a bit here, Frank?
I think I was surprised that they went away from it for game 3.
Yeah.
It worked so well. And I thought that it really solved for a couple problems, because I thought Suzuki really struggled on the wall. And so when they moved him back to the middle and then gave him some heft with Tom Wilson in that spot, that it's like McKinnon wasn't going there and Suzuki wasn't working there. So it just seemed to be a little bit of a misfit. And now when you moved Suzuki back to center, everything clicked.
Yeah.
That line became more productive. The McDavid, Celebrini, McKinnon line was fantastic. It's a great, if you're heading into this, this knockout stage, if you're John Cooper, it's such an unbelievable and envious thing to have in your back pocket that you could always go back to that.
Yeah. What have you thought of the Canadian blue line as a whole, Frank?
I thought it's actually been pretty efficient. I do think that there's a lot hinging on how impactful Josh Morrissey will be.
Yeah.
Because they become a lot less efficient moving the puck without him. But Dave Theodore stepped up and Travis Sanheim, they were good. And I do think it's definitely beneficial for this Canadian team that all those guys have gotten into games and that they are comfortable with the environment and surroundings and everything else, just in case you need to go back there. But Morrissey on the ice, full participant in practice today. John Cooper did not say that he's necessarily in. He said not sure was the quote, which kind of leads me to wonder whether or not they hold him out for the quarterfinals and plug him back in for the semis, but we'll see. I mean, I think you need him for when it's crunch time for a lot of the reasons I just mentioned, and we're obviously not there yet.
How do you think Theodore's played, kind of filling in for Morrissey?
Yeah, he's been fine. Yeah. I think he's been A-okay. Like no issues, nothing to nitpick. I just don't think he brings to that element to that Canadian decor that they really need or are missing when Morrissey's out.
And what do you think about Binnington likely getting the start, for tomorrow's game? It's Czech and Denmark are still scoreless after a period here, Frank. So we'll see what happens. But what do you think about Binnington going?
I mean, it's pretty clear that's their guy.
Yeah.
And his confidence, his mental makeup is his superpower. The fact that he can find a way to lock in and for a 60-minute stretch of time truly believes and feels in his own skin that he's the best goalie on planet Earth for that period of time. That's an amazing quality to have. And I think the net is his until he falters, and he may not.
Frank, good stuff. Where are you going for supper tonight? What's on the menu for you?
I haven't made any plans yet. I'm actually, the food situation is not great in the arena.
Yeah.
And so like your two options, if you go to the concession stand, are a hamburger that they microwave in front of you or a packaged sandwich. Like that's it.
Well, you got to go.
So I'm actually just finished practice. I'm actually going to walk down the street here. There's a little kebab shop. And I'm going to get something there and then see what we can cook up tonight for pasta.
Attaboy, Frank. We'll talk to you on Thursday. Have a good one. Thanks, man.
Sounds good. Thanks, Kevin. See ya.
Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV, our headliner of the day in Italy for Mr. Rooter, the number one overall pick in your fantasy plumbing pool. That is mrrooter.ca. Text 833-401-1440. When we come back, Eddie Sefko from Mavs.com covers the Dallas Mavericks. We'll touch on the Mavs' latest news coming out of the All-Star break. That's straight ahead on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440. AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today. Hello. You're never going to believe this. Booster Juice called your name today. You can get a free smoothie or acai bowl.
No way. I'm heading there now.
Oh my gosh, you and my brother have the same name. Okay, I'm calling him next. I'm hanging up.
Booster Juice Names of the Day is back. 2 names are selected each day, and if your name matches, you can get a free smoothie or an acai bowl. Watch for your name on the Booster Rewards app and social media. Must be an app member to qualify. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Get down to Harley-Davidson of Edmonton's VIP Spring Blowout Sale this Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 4. New motorcycles are selling for as low as $12,900. And ask us about the 1-year extended warranty on new and used bikes. Bring your buddies, because when they buy a new Harley, you get a $500 referral credit. For more details, visit Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail or at hdedmonton.com.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Tackle the ice and snow with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, delivering the power, control, stability, and grit you need. And when the temperature plummets, you'll cruise in comfort with heated seats and heated steering wheel. All this plus peace of mind with Subaru's top safety pick status for 19 years running. This winter, it's time to get you into a Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca today.
Irrelevant Saskatchewan history. Kevin's got it. But first, catch the exclusive interviews and stories nobody else has. The Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 922 Ian Edmonton. That's just a good tune, eh, Duke? That's, what's his name, Mark Chestnut? Is that who that is? Yeah, Chester.
Chester.
Hey, Chester. Going through the big D, don't mean Dallas. We're just awaiting Eddie Sefko from Mavs.com. We're going to talk about the Dallas Mavericks. Not having a good kind of before the All-Star break, not having great performances here. I think they've lost 9 in a row. And right now, the Mavs sitting in 12th place in the Western Conference. I don't even know if they're they're way back of I don't think the playoffs are a possibility for them this year, but they're sitting with a record of 19-35. They've lost 9 in a row. But they got one of the best young guns in the league, and Cooper Flagg. We'll see what's going to happen down the stretch here with Kyrie Irving. And, the All-Star break just finished up on the weekend. Duke's just trying to get Eddie Sefko. He's got call control. Maybe you have to bring in Josh Fenwick for some questions here. Fenny, are you excited for this interview with Eddie Sefko?
Yeah, I'm interested to see.
What are you looking for here?
Well, I'm interested to hear more in-depth stuff about Cooper Flagg, someone that's there all the time, being able to talk to him and stuff. So I'm interested about hearing that. Their depth. I read his most recent piece about Flagg and Wembanyama going back and forth from February 8th, I believe. And so that was a good read, and him talking about how they wanted Tyus Jones in the offseason. He ended up with the Wizards, and then by the luck of the draw, they end up trading Anthony Davis, get Tyus Jones back. So, I'm just interested in hearing a more in-depth everything about the Mavericks.
Guess who is Cooper Flagg's biggest fan from the weekend? Barack Obama.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I don't think Cooper, he didn't play in the Rising Stars game because
he had an injury.
Yeah. So, I mean, he didn't play, but apparently, I'm just reading an article. I had it from this morning, Josh. The former president of the U.S. was in L.A. for the NBA All-Star Weekend, including sitting courtside during Sunday's games. Once catching a loose ball that went out of bounds. While being interviewed by reporters, Obama gave reasons the NBA should reduce the regular season from 82 to 72 games.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. And noted that Flagg, who was supposed to play in the Rising Stars game, was out due to injury. There you go.
A lot of people out due to injury. There was a podcast I was listening to, and they were talking about what are the odds, because they have the 65 game limit on games, right? It's what are the odds that we're going to see a Kawhi Leonard MVP type year, which is crazy.
Right on, yeah. Let's welcome in Eddie Sefko from Mavs.com. Good morning, Eddie. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure, guys. How is everything up there where you guys are?
I'll tell you what, Eddie, she's a little nippy today, and we got about 6-7 inches of snow overnight. So it's winter's not loosening its grip here in northern Alberta. I can tell you that.
Well, I won't bore you with the details of 65 and sunny here.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Hey, Eddie, are you a big All-Star break weekend guy, like, the games and, the Rising Stars and everything like that? Does that strike your fancy, or are you kind of like a lot of people where it's just the break and it is what it is?
Well, I was not there this year, and quite frankly, it lost its luster with me and a whole lot of other people, by the way, in the last decade or so, when the format got stale and things just degenerated and it wasn't competitive. And the 3-point shootout can still have its moments, but even the dunk contest, there's no stars doing it. So, but I will say this: I think the league made a big step this year. The world versus U.S. format worked. It worked, and I don't know how long it'll last. I'm sure they'll tweak it over the years to come. But I think they've stumbled onto something that actually has a chance to be a fairly, something to rekindle interest in what had become a kind of a blah weekend.
Exactly. All-Star games and All-Star weekends are just so tough in all sports. It's just the way it is. Eddie Sefko with us from Mavs.com, covers the Mavericks. Maybe just as a whole perspective, maybe touch on this Mavs team coming out of the break here. Losers of 9 straight. What's been the problem so far that you've seen here in this last little stretch here, Eddie?
Well, they're missing their best players. Or a player now anyway, with Kyrie Irving, and I don't know if he's coming back or not, but this season, I mean, but they just don't have the firepower they need, and admittedly, Jason Kidd is looking at the younger guys. He's trying to figure out who has staying power with the team long term. and there are some young kids that are showing some pretty good promise. So this is a long-term deal. They're not gonna fix this thing overnight. Obviously, they've got a real nice piece in Cooper Flagg. He's the real deal, no matter what anybody says.
Yeah. How exciting is it to cover, one of the best young and up and coming players that we've seen enter the league in years?
Oh man, he's a pleasure to deal with at 19 years old, and I don't even want to think about what I was doing at 19 years old. But it certainly wasn't being the face of an NBA franchise. But that's what he's going to be, and already is stepping into that. And he, his abilities on the court are very. I mean, it's not flashy all the time, but boy, he can get to the rim and be athletic. He's way more athletic than people think he is. And he's just going to be a lot of fun to watch grow. I mean, remember, he just turned 19 2 months ago. So this is a guy who's just still a kid, and he's going to have a great future, and the Mavericks are very lucky to have him.
He didn't play in the Rising Stars game. What's his status moving forward coming out of the break here, Eddie?
I think that was a precautionary deal, but at this point, with a 19 and 35 record, they're not going to make the playoffs, obviously. So, it makes sense to, if there's any question with him, that now his season's not done. They want to see him go out and continue, and he's going to, assuming he plays enough games and all that, he'll win the Rookie of the Year, and that's a feather in his and the organization's cap. And it's just a real nice story with him, and I do think he'll be back. The second half starts in Minnesota next week, or on Friday, and I fully expect him to be playing, but don't quote me on that.
Eddie Sefko from Mavs.com, our guest on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. So obviously they're going to build around this young guy, as you said, just 19 years old. He's averaging over 20 points a game and playing over 34 minutes a game. So the pieces that need to be put into place here, in your estimation, Eddie, what are they to help? Again, as you said, they're not going to turn this over overnight. They've got to, continue to build and do things the proper way. But I guess, what do you think the pieces of the puzzle need to be added here as they move forward in the organization?
Well, first of all, they do have their draft pick this year, and it's a fairly deep draft by all accounts. So they've got an incoming piece there. They could be as high as, well, of course, they could be one like they were last year if they get lucky. But right now, if things stayed as they were, they would be picking 7th, which is a good pick. And there's a lot of players coming out that are considered to be NBA worthy very quickly. That's one thing. I do think you'll see some free agent interest in pairing with Cooper. He's going to be that kind of a draw. He's plays the game the right way. He doesn't have to have the ball in his hands all the time, like, let's say another Maverick of days and years gone past needed. And I do think they need that. They need a shooter. They've got to put shooters around him. Klay Thompson's not going to go on forever. And of course, rebounding is the perpetual problem for this team. It has been for years, and it is this year. And they just don't have anybody that they could rely on. They thought Anthony Davis would be that guy that could solidify that, but he simply didn't play enough games before he was traded.
And Kyrie Irving, I mean, that's kind of how they were trying to build this, I would assume, Eddie, with pairing Cooper Flagg with Kyrie in the backcourt. But that hasn't been able to work out as much as they've probably wanted either, has it?
No, I mean, Kyrie's been out, and he's coming back. I mean, I'm going to write on Mavs.com, the story will be posted later today on Kyrie coming back and whether that makes sense for the organization, or should they wait and make sure he's 100% healthy for next season. My personal opinion is that if they can get him on the court, and if he's fit, if there's no problems with his health, get him on the court for, even if it's just a handful of games with Cooper, whet the fans' appetite, get a little something started with those two, let them get on the court with each other. I think it would be worth it. And I don't think it's going to have any impact whatsoever on their lottery position. They're going to be there one way or the other.
Yeah. Eddie Sepko with us, covers the Dallas Mavericks on Mavs.com. You mentioned with a record of 19-35, Eddie, they're just behind Memphis for that 11th seed. Is there any way they could go on a run here? And do you think could close the gap on possibly Portland and the Clippers in the West?
I suppose anything's possible, but they got 28 games left, and 17 of them are on the road. And then the a lot of tough teams even at home as well. So it's going to be tough. I mean, if they did, and admittedly, the NBA has already addressed that they want to address the tanking problem. But if everybody's doing it, then it doesn't work for anybody. There's half a dozen teams that are probably diving for lottery balls, but I've always been of the opinion that you play the game, and your team may not be very good. You may not have to tank, but you try your best. You give your best effort, and at least you can look yourself in the mirror in the morning. And the lottery gods tend to favor teams that play the game the right way. I mean, that's just a philosophical thing for me. But don't go out there and cheat the game is what I'm saying.
Yeah. What did you make the trade deadline with Anthony Davis going to Washington?
Well, it got Mavericks out of salary cap hell, so that if that by itself makes it a success. Granted that they didn't get fair value back, but they saved a ton of money, and now they actually have options going forward with what they can do with the free agency and re-signing their own players and that sort of thing. It had to be done. It's unfortunate it didn't work out, but that was just a bad trade from the start, and it to acquire Anthony Davis. I mean, and it didn't work out. So, but they have recouped a little bit of draft capital, and they've made the best out of a tough situation. When your roof springs a leak, you clean it up as best you can, and that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, as you said, Eddie. I mean, this isn't going to be an overnight thing here to get back to respectability. How much of a process? What are you thinking? Like a couple of years? Where's this team like when it's going to get back to where it's going to be a contender in the West?
Well, it's with Cooper. I don't think it's going to be a way long process. I mean, you've seen teams like Sacramento and a few others in Utah that they're stuck in lottery hell for years and years and years and even decades. I don't see that happening with this team. Flag is too good, and they have a couple of nice surrounding pieces. I mean, Najee Marshall has blossomed into a real good complementary player. They have P.J. Washington. Max Christie is a great shooter, a young kid, and they have some pieces. And if they add Kyrie either later this year or next year, whenever it might be, and whoever they get in the draft, I just don't see this as a long-term rebuild. I think they could be certainly competitive next year for postseason play. I think they're still 2 or 3 years off from being taken seriously. And remember, there's teams in the West like San Antonio. They're young and they're ready. They're not going to go away. Minnesota's another one. They've got all the pieces already in place. So, and of course, Oklahoma City. So, it's going to be hard sledding, but I do think they have a window, and it's going to open probably in a year or two.
Hey, Eddie, thanks so much for your time this morning. Really appreciate it, and enjoy that balmy weather down in Big D.
Well, I'll be heading to Minnesota in a couple of days, so it won't be that way for long for me.
You got that right. Thanks for coming on, Eddie. Take care. We'll talk soon.
You bet. Y'all take care.
Yeah, Eddie Sepko from Mavs.com covers the Dallas Mavericks. Losers of 9 in a row. They got to get things back on track, and hopefully, again, they got one of the best young players that we've seen enter the league in a long time in Cooper Flag. So, hey, when we come back, we're going to go in or out with the Duke of Delburne. We got Bob Weeks from curling and TSN. We'll talk a little golf too. It was a great tournament on the weekend at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Colin Morikawa won the event. So we'll talk some curling and golf with Bob Weeks. We got Connor Halley from Fantasy Frenzy and the Jason Greger Show, and Brent Sake will join us at 10:40 after the world's longest hockey game came to a close last night at Sakers Acres. That's all. Straight ahead on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM Radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Free trips, free iPads, a barbecue, a wood stove. The #1 dealer in the world. What? Who cares? How about no pressure, a great deal, finance rates as low as 0%, trade values you can be happy with, and an indoor showroom. And we're pretty good people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
McValue meals are here. Get the McDs you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, Junior Chicken, or Chicken Snack Wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All Star Construction is all about.
Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Whoa, I gotta put some money on the game tonight. We hit our monthly budget. Whoa, how did you get in here? I'm you, the responsible you. We're right. We'll play another time. Sounds more like us.
If you gamble, use your game sense. Visit GameSenseAB.ca.
Buddy, quit rolling up to the bar and looking like it's grade 9 grad and you're wearing your dad's old work suit. Do yourself a favor and call Game Day Suits.
Game Day Suits is Alberta-based and makes fully customizable, made-to-order suits. Perfect for hockey teams, wedding parties, or even the office crew. Book your free consultation at GameDaySuits.ca.
I'm rocking one right now. I look deadly.
You know they can't see you, right?
Okay, Mr. Announcer, you want to go, tough guy?
Game Day Suits!
Sports 1440.
All sports,
all day.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Thanks for listening to Edmonton's sports leader.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 942 in Edmonton. That lean yard, skin yard, hey? That was like 2.5 years ago, hey, Duke? That I can't remember who texted in that one day and said, you guys aren't even pronouncing his name properly. Come on now. Time now for, are you in or out?
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
All right, Duke, let her buck.
Over the weekend, Team Canada men's hockey team beat France on Sunday to secure first place through preliminary play and through those 3 pool games. The player that has exceeded expectations the most for Canada is Mark Stone.
I get where you're coming with this one, Duke, but you know what? I think I'm going to go with Macklin Celebrini.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, and, think about what Frank said and, the humility of a guy that's 19 years old that said, I wasn't even sure I'd be playing. Like, I thought it could be a healthy scratch here.
There for the experience.
Yeah. So I understand where you're coming at with Stone. And I think that, again, I talked about that line, how important it's going to be as far as a shutdown line that can obviously add some offense as well with Sidney Crosby and Mitch Marner. But I think I'm going to go with Macklin Celebrini just because of, the numbers he's put up and how he looks. He's just mature beyond his years and has been a perfect fit. And again, when they go nuclear and have McKinnon and McDavid and Celebrini, wow, it's a hell of a line.
It's some of the things I saw across Twitter and whatnot over the weekend when that line was put together. It was, is this the best line in the modern era of hockey? You go back to some of the all-time greats playing together. You don't want to rule them out, but Celebrini, McKinnon, and McDavid, it's pretty deadly for sure. The reason I maybe lean towards Stone and even some other options here, like I didn't necessarily expect Celebrini to light the world on fire, but we knew he was probably going to get a chance to play inside the top 6 with one of McKinnon or McDavid, in this case both, maybe even Crosby, who he played together at the World Championships. And watching him in the NHL this year, it's pretty clear that he can play with the best on any given night. The Olympics are always a different animal, and they're going to face their toughest test, of course, still to come in the elimination games. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little bit of the minority where I didn't have very low expectations for Celebrini. I kind of thought he could play to this potential over the course of the tournament. Whereas with Stone, I was right up there with his biggest critics in being named to the team. I thought he looked so out of place at the Four Nations face-off from a speed perspective that he didn't have any business being on this Olympic team. But it's just how smart he is and how intelligently he plays the game that he makes himself look faster than he is at times by just being in the right spot. Games against France, and to an extent even the Swiss and Czechs, maybe you get sheltered a little bit in that respect, but still he's really impressed me. Thomas Harley on the back end, Drew Doughty, who you've talked about a couple times this morning with Speck and Frank as well. There's been quite a few pleasant surprises along with both of the goaltending as well.
And if you're going to throw a guy maybe into the mix there, another guy would be Bo Horvat.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And even it's going to kind of come up here in our next question, but Seth Jarvis, since coming into the lineup, I've really liked what he's brought, even if maybe the production necessarily hasn't been there to match it. But the Canadians will now await the winner of this game we're watching right now. The Czechs taking on the Danes, currently 1-0 for Czech here in the second period in the quarterfinals, assuming Brad Marchand is healthy enough to return to the lineup, which we've been led to believe is the case. I think Nick Suzuki will be the lineup casualty and the guy drawing out to make room.
Who would be the other guy then? Would it be Seth Jarvis?
I think Jarvis, maybe Bennett. If those are kind of the players that have been playing some of the least amount. But we talked about this on Saturday after the Switzerland game on the Triple S. Like with how Jarvis has played and been impactful in limited minutes, I'd have a really hard time pulling him out.
He's fast too,
He's so fast. And I know when I brought this up originally, going back to December 31st, I had him on my original roster. Like he is so versatile that in the case of somebody gets banged up, you can play him literally anywhere across the 4 lines.
Yeah, I'll probably go with you there, Duke, in the sense that if Marchand is good to go, and he can slide in there as well, right? Right where Suzuki's coming out. So yeah, I'm probably going to go in with you here.
Yeah. In the other quarterfinal qualifier games today, Germany and Switzerland already with wins this morning. As mentioned, we're watching the Danes and Czechs right now. Sweden will play Latvia in the conclusion at 1:00. If we semi-assume that Sweden and Czechs will be the teams to advance here, the team with the best chance in their quarterfinals to pull off an upset, I'm going back to the well. I'm going with Leon Draisaitl and the Germans against Slovakia.
Wow, that's a tough one. But so then would you consider Sweden over the U.S. an upset?
I still think it would be an upset for sure.
So I'm going to go with that one, dude.
Yeah.
I just think that somehow Sweden's got to get their act together here.
Yeah.
And maybe, Latvia is going to be a tough out today. but we're assuming that Sweden beats Latvia. So I'm going to go the Swedes and maybe put a little heat on the Americans here while we're doing it.
Hey, I'd love to see it. It's funny because as Canadians and the rivalry, we're naturally rooting for the United States to fail. But I kind of want to see it at the hands of the Canadians in the gold medal game.
Denmark's just
They just tied it up
with the Czechs here, and I mean this game's
nice passing play.
This game's half over, and it's 1-1. True scorers. It's a true goal.
Alex True goal scorer.
Yeah,
love to see it.
So I mean they're right back in it. I mean Denmark could pull an upset here.
It's sort of trending that way. It's going to be a lot closer than maybe expected. But I do think that this was maybe pegged as the most competitive of the qualifier games based on opponents. Changing gears over to the NBA. We just finished a chat with Eddie Sefko from down in Dallas. The All-Star break rolling on into the middle of this week following an All-Star game that actually surprised people in a positive fashion. Might be the first time ever we've been able to say that, or at least the first time in a long time. However, I'm not ready to buy in on stock. I think the success of this new format of United States against the world type teams, it was great while it lasted, but shouldn't inspire much hope for future versions of the event.
Do you hate every All-Star game, Duke?
Hate's a really strong word. I'm indifferent. I don't care.
Yeah.
And talked about it with Josh earlier this morning, like this new version. It's amazing how all of a sudden you are playing to represent something more than just East-West or your captain picked you, that all of a sudden a little more pride comes out, and the international players representing Team World, it seemed to do that. And Victor Wembanyama was the guy leading the charge with a lot of hustle, a lot of try, and it made for a very competitive and compelling game. Now, on the flip side, the dunk contest was maybe the worst we've ever seen.
Yeah.
The highlight of it was a guy cracking his head off the hardwood, which is never an inspiring sign. So as a result, I think this was a good one-off, good for them. I wouldn't be surprised to see next year, even if it's the same format or something, go back to the same lackadaisical pickup style game that we're used to seeing.
Probably with you here because it just and I'm indifferent too. And again, it's just don't care about them.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
And in terms of like both how it's designed, it's not meant to appeal to someone like me. And guess what? It doesn't. So I'm not going to totally chastise them. I know we've talked a lot about the Pro Bowl needing to be axed. The NHL All-Star game kind of looks like it might be on the outs moving forward. We're talking about Olympic hockey every 4 years, World Cup, or a Four Nation face-off style event somewhere in the mix there too. We might only see an All-Star game like once every second or third year potentially, which might be for the best overall.
Yeah.
Finally, this day, 2014, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon debuted on NBC. No shortage of options when you're stacking up some of the all-time greats going back to Karius' youth. The guys on TV in black and white. And then, of course, our modern version of them where we got guys like Fallon and Kimmel and the rest. But I think the best late-night host of all time, David Letterman.
Well, got to be in, Duke. I mean,
really?
I'm in. The best of all time is David Letterman. And you know what? I haven't watched any late night talk show host for years. But back in the day, it was must watch. Like you stayed up. You stayed up to watch, Letterman or Leno or even Johnny Carson way before, when Leno took over from him. But David Letterman, I mean, I don't know what it was about him. And, he had such a great rapport with the Canadian Paul Schaefer, obviously, world's greatest band. I don't know. And it was New York. I just think it had a better format than what Leno was. Leno was a better, probably his monologues,
right?
Because he was a comedian.
Yes.
Dave wasn't really a comedian. You know what I mean? And but Johnny Carson to me too, he could be right in.
And so obviously that predates me, and you just see the clips and you hear everyone talk about how beloved he was and how great doing it for as long as he did, no doubt, right? And to your point, Kevin, like Letterman, even growing up, I wasn't staying up very late to watch stuff, but usually it was whatever show was on that night, and it was probably the rerun of it. Realistically, if I was watching it after we get in from chores or finishing milking. We'd watch like an episode of 2.5 Men or something else, depending on the day of the week. And then Letterman was on right after it. And so I would usually stay up for the first, the monologue, maybe the first guest or something, first couple commercial breaks of the show, and then off to bed with me for school the next day. But it's weird that having no clue who he was, didn't really know who even many of the guests were at that time as a kid in rural Alberta. It was compelling. I loved it. The wittiness of some of the jokes and the punchlines and the delivery. I was infatuated. I thought he was great.
Yeah. Team Dean says Johnny Carson all day, every day. Letterman just had a stupid list. Well, I don't know, the top 10 list. But I mean, Johnny Carson was brilliant too. And I mean, with him and Ed McMahon, I always think, you think about that would have been the easiest job ever. He'd just sit there and he would, ho, 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 ho. Just that one laugh that Ed McMahon had all the time. I don't know, man. Oh man. Hey, that was a great combination. And then, but Letterman had, he had his guys too, like all the guys that he brought in, and like, that were guest appearances more often. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. More like recurring, with regularity type.
Yeah,
guests.
like that. Like, I mean, then he always, it was the guy out of Regina. Remember Dick Assman?
No.
No?
Okay. Yeah. Actually, now that you say that, I do.
Yeah.
I
So
do
that was a guy that
it was like a good bit that they had going.
I mean, he thought that was the funniest thing of all time.
Have him on live now.
Yeah. Then they brought in some other, like, what's that guy's name, Duke? I'm trying to think now that he was like a reoccurring guy that came on quite frequently.
Okay.
Then the guys on the cue cards. There was that one guy that he held the cue cards for Dave.
Okay.
So he was on a lot. Craig Ferguson, Ranting Rob was? I don't know.
I think he's pretty funny. I think he had to have the right type of humor to land on a show-to-show basis. He was pretty forward and, loved flirting with the female guests and saying some pretty, some things that maybe wouldn't fly as much today.
Well, I was telling you the Johnny Carson one with the cat.
And
he had the cat.
So I did a Google search, and this is just like from IMDb.
Yeah.
40 greatest late night hosts. And number one is actually one that at least one text has come in about, but Conan.
Yeah, Conan.
Conan's actually listed as number one on this site. Johnny Carson's 2, Letterman is 3. And then Jon Stewart, Ferguson, Stephen Colbert, Kimmel, John Oliver, Fallon, and then Graham Norton rounds out the top 10. And the Graham Norton show, it is very funny. I only ever see clips of it just on social media, but I do usually get a laugh.
The Czechs have scored 2 quick goals to go up 3-1 on Denmark. Was that Cervenka
What a
just
ripper.
scored?
Roman, the captain.
He's 38 or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
a little bit of a
shelf on
rolling
Anderson.
puck and perfectly picked that corner.
Arsenio Hall, Triple C in a truck goes, no, Arsenio, oh man.
And if I had to pick, like, was there ever a late night show host, Kev, or something that you just straight up did not like?
Not really.
Like, I'll be honest, the James Corden wave of popularity, the carpool karaoke stuff, I never got it. It never landed with me at all.
Yeah. Rigg says Chris Elliott. There was that guy that was on Craig. What was his name? Craig something? Blonde-haired guy, dude. He was like a sports guy too.
Okay.
I forget his name now. Good stuff, Duke. Top of the hour, we've got Bob Weeks from TSN. We'll talk a little curling and maybe some golf with Weeksy. Connor Halley and Brent Sake also coming up in that 10 o'clock hour. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding, awswelding.ca. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Team Canada in Italy today. The women's short track team pursuit taking home the gold medal, defeating the Netherlands in the final race. Rachel Holman and her women's curling team beat Sweden 7-6. Men's aerials, women's aerials, and the women's snowboard slopestyle final, all with Canadians in their respective fields, have been postponed due to weather. Still to come today, Madeline Shazat has her short program in women's singles, figure skating, men's 2-man bobsleigh, the final 2 runs. 2 Canadian teams in that field. Brad Jacobs and the men's curling team will take on Great Britain, and Dylan Deschamps will ski for a medal in the men's big air. Outside of the Canadian scope, quarterfinal qualifier games of the men's hockey tournament on today. Leon Draisaitl 3 points in Germany's 5-1 win over France. The Swiss blank Italy 3-0. Currently, Czechia leading Denmark 3-1 in the second period, and Sweden will take on Latvia just after 1 o'clock. Coming up in hour 4 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Bob Weeks from TSN as well as Connor Halley from Fantasy Frenzy. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Free trips, free iPads, a barbecue, a wood stove, the #1 dealer in the world. What? Who cares? How about no pressure, a great deal, finance rates as low as 0%, great values you can be happy with, and an indoor showroom. And we're pretty good people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
Remember 2025? That's so last year. But seriously, St. Albert Dodge needs to clear some 2025 models off the lot to make room for new inventory. So they're having a huge clear out of all the remaining new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas. The Sahara package is the best seller, so they have a great selection to choose from and priced from as low as $59,900. I don't have to tell you, these are going to go fast. So get there before they are gone. Just head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The Edmonton Firefighters Rooftop Campout for Muscular Dystrophy is February 18th to 20th. Edmonton firefighters are again braving the elements by camping on the roof of Fire Hall number 2. This year, they've added a little twist and will start the rooftop campout with no camping equipment. The more money they raise for muscular dystrophy, the more equipment they get to survive an Edmonton winter, with a final goal of getting off the roof and helping this incredible cause. Donate now at any Edmonton Fire Hall or online at edmontonrooftopcampout.ca.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 10:01 in Edmonton, and time now for the game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where the all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived, and we've got a great selection, too. Many colors to pick from. $49,900 gets you behind the wheel. A brand new Jeep Gladiator below $50K. Check them out at stalbertdodge.com as we welcome in and welcome back Bob Weeks from TSN, covers curling and golf. Morning, Bob. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it again.
No problem, Kevin. Good to be here.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever seen like the curling, the amount of craziness that happened last week? And, you know, just with everything with Mark Kennedy and the women and everything else. You know, you can never have bad publicity, I say, Weeksy, but what did you make of everything that kind of shook down at the Olympics so far with this great sport?
Well, I think, you know, every 4 years curling comes out to the rest of the world, to the parts that don't know it, a lot of the people who don't know it, and it's a curious game to begin with for them. And then you get into this brouhaha that the people don't really understand the rules and they're wondering what's going on and wonder why curlers are supposed to be nice people, but they're swearing at each other and going on and on. So it's been quite a situation, really back and forth. In some ways, I guess it's a good way because you're bringing a lot of people into the game and into the sport. But I'm not sure exactly how to see if it's going to be long term or it's going to be something good or not.
Yeah, I've covered Mark Kennedy, as you know, Bob, since he was a junior back in the day here in Edmonton, obviously from St. Albert. He gets riled up. He's a fierce competitor. And I think when he looked back on it, I think, and he said, I wish I probably might have handled it a little bit better. But maybe just what did you think of how Kennedy did handle things that happened last week?
Well, I think the Swedes handled it pretty poorly, to be honest with you. There's a lot of stuff, as you probably know, Kevin. There's a lot of stuff that goes on between teams and they're on the circuit. There's a little bit of back and forth here and there, and they usually handle it themselves between the two teams. But to put it out sort of in public, what's going on at the Olympics, and then to be called a cheater. Now, I'm not actually sure if the Swedes actually said he was cheating or if they just said he was breaking the rule, but it certainly evolved into a situation where he was viewed as being a cheater by whomever. And I think that's the pretty harsh part about it. I don't think that he could affect the rock in any way, shape, or form by touching it the way he did. He couldn't make it go further. This is a 40-pound rock sliding on ice. He's not going to make it go further or go left or go right with the little touch that he did. And so I think that this is one of those situations where you could have come up to him and said, look, we see what you're doing. We'd love you to stop touching it. You're breaking a rule. Did he break a rule? Yes, he did break a rule. And they can handle it internally. But, to have a Swedish television camera alerted to what was going on and have them recording it and then putting it out, I mean, it just really was, I think it was a really kind of a poor blow by the Swedes. And you're right, Kevin, I think Mark could have handled himself a little bit better as well. But anyway, if nothing else, we're sitting here talking about curling at the Olympics, which is pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. Bob Weeks from TSN with us on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. What did you make of Rachel Homan this morning? Almost a do or die situation, and a really solid performance up against Sweden and winning that one 8-6 thanks to two.
Yeah, I think both teams got some breaks. It wasn't a perfect game by any means, but I thought Rachel looked pretty intense. I thought their whole team was in that way. They really seemed to be firing on most cylinders. They missed a few shots and a couple of ugly ones here and there, but they got breaks because the Swedes did the same thing. At the end of the day, though, the win is what's really important right now, and that's a team that you don't, it's going to be one of the tougher teams in the lineup there, Sweden. They're a pretty good group. So I think it mentally gives them a big boost, and we'll see if they can run the table. They've got a couple more important games to play before we get into the playoffs. But that win gave them basically control of their destiny now. If they win their two games, they're going to be in the playoffs, and that's what you hope for. And then you can basically clean the slate and start again.
How do you think Rachel's curling here when you just look at her overall game, Weeksy?
I thought she had some tremendous shots, and then she had some real stinkers. There was one where she was, trying to play a double takeout and ended up cleaning the house of her own and giving the Swedes a free draw for 3 points. I sort of thought earlier in the week they looked a little bit frustrated, and it could be something to do with the ice. It could be something to do with the rocks. They're not getting control of them or figuring things out until sort of a little bit further on than they should be. They're too good a team not to medal, let alone perhaps win a gold medal. I mean, this is a team that probably hasn't lost 3 consecutive games in 3 years, and yet they did that here. So some surprises for them, but I think you have to mentally regroup. This is when it counts. This is what they've basically been working for the last 4 years, and they're good enough to run the table, and they're good enough to win the gold medal. But they got to step it up a little bit because they're not, I don't think, playing quite well enough yet to show me that they're going to be the favorite to get to the gold.
Bob Weeks with us on Sports 1440. As for the men and Brad Jacobs, 5-1 record going into round robin play today. Bob, what have you seen from Brad Jacobs and company to be in all alone in second place in the men's standings?
They're playing really well. They are, I won't say they're firing on all cylinders, but their misses are not costly. Their misses aren't big. They are making a lot of clutch shots when they need to. And I think the other teams now are seeing that just sort of how good these guys can be. They've got a couple of big games coming up as well. But I really have a lot of faith in Brad Jacobs and his team. I mean, they're experienced, which is one thing that they have going for them. All four of these guys have been in this situation before. Obviously, Mark Kennedy, this is his fourth one. I think Ben as well. So there's a lot to like about their chances to win a gold medal as well. But it doesn't take much for anything to derail here. And I think the ice is tricky, the rocks are tricky, and you got to be on your watch to make sure that you don't lose something based on a bad ice or a bad rock.
How surprised were you, Weeksy, with Nicholas Sedin, like 1-6 record so far in the round robin and not going to make the playoffs?
Yeah, they haven't. I don't think they've played their best this year. They may be sort of past their best due date. I was actually a little surprised that they were sort of automatically picked for the Swedish team, but they've got a gold, a silver, and a bronze, so they've got the complete set. It doesn't really drive them as much as some of the other guys might, but I honestly haven't seen a lot from Nick Edin this year that makes me think he was going to be a medal challenger, although 1-6 is not exactly where I figured they would be down at the bottom. So it's tough out there. These teams from different countries, especially not including Canada or something, but countries that have one team and they put all the resources behind that one team. Those are the ones you're seeing right now that are playing some great stuff, and it's tough to compete against those. I guess you can say, well, maybe if we have so many good teams and they're playing against each other, it's a little better. But if you look at the world rankings, there's not a lot of Canadian teams in those top 10 and top 15 out there. So we're not the favorites in the world going into these competitions as much as we used to be in the old days.
Yeah, no kidding. And I mean, that gap closed many years ago, and it goes to say too, with all the Canadians that have gone to other countries too, right, Bob, that have gone to other countries and helped those programs close that gap. I mean, it's kind of like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't for Canada, but they've helped close the gap for sure.
Yep, and we did the opposite. We brought David Murdoch, who was a Scottish gold medal winner or a Scottish Olympian, and brought him in to run our high performance program. So, but you look up behind the bench and you see all these veteran, Glenn Howard's up there and Guy Hemmings is up there, and all these notable names from days gone by are helping these international teams, most of whom, as you say, train in Canada for most of the season. A lot of them are living here, not quite full time, but they're here basically when they need to be during the competitive season, because this is where you get the best coaching and this is where you learn the most.
Yeah. Bob Weeks with us on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440, covers curling and golf at TSN. I wanted to switch gears and talk a little golf with you, Bob, and maybe the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. I were you thinking, oh, here comes Scotty Scheffler again here, and he always seems to put himself into the mix. What'd you make of the Pebble Beach?
I sort of got this feeling that maybe Scotty Scheffler is now just sort of having bad first rounds to let everybody sort of know that he's not going to run away with it anymore. But yeah, I mean, he starts coming down that last round with 3 eagles and 3 bogeys on the card for a 63, and puts himself in competition for Sunday. It's just mind-boggling what this guy is capable of doing. Now, 18 straight top 10 finishes on the PGA Tour, and I don't know if he's really getting enough credit for how well he is playing. He's only got the 1 win so far this year, but I expect that's going to change any day now, and we'll see where he ends up. But he is really something to watch. There's just really, since he solved his putting issues about 2.5 years ago, there's really not a weak part of his game right now. Yeah. And it makes it tough to be better than him on over 4 different rounds.
Yeah. Does Colin Morikawa get enough credit for his level of play, do you think, Bob?
Well, he started off very well, won those 2 major championships during the COVID era. He was really good early on, and then he kind of in the last 2.5 years has kind of gone into a funk where he wasn't sure what was going wrong with his game. He couldn't figure out. He was trying to dig himself out of it. At the end of last year, he put the clubs in the closet and he said, okay, what do I need to do? He changed some people in his team. He got into the gym, and he worked very, very hard at getting his fitness back. And then he sort of came out with a bit of a new attitude this year. He was a bit of a grumbler over the last couple of years when he didn't play well. Now it's more a case of, okay, I hit a bad shot. There's nothing I can do about it. Let's go on and try and stay positive and go from there. And it showed even a little bit late last year But certainly with this win, I think he's, you could say he's back on track. I don't know if he'll win another one this year, but I think he'll be a lot more competitive than he has been, let's say, in the last 18 months or so.
Have you played Pebble Beach, by the way?
I haven't. Someone asked me that this morning at my gym, and I said, it's the only big course that I really haven't played. I've been lucky enough to play a lot of great courses. I've covered, 4 or 5 championships there over the years, but I have yet to get on there. So that's one maybe on the bucket list.
Yeah. And how many times have you been drawn for at Augusta?
Just once. It took me 19 years to get my first spin around, and lately we've been James Duthie and I would love to play our second round there, but we've sort of been standing back to try and maybe give one of the other TSN people, some people who work behind the scenes, a shot at it. So hopefully I'll get another chance to play it. But if I only play it once, once is enough for a course like that. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, no kidding. Bob Weeks with us on Sports 1440. The Canadians, some decent showings by the Canadians at Pebble Beach. Nick Taylor was T24, finished at 14 under par. And then Mackenzie Hughes and Taylor Pendrith, T34 as well. And they were both at -12. What did you make of the Canadians in the field?
Wasn't really surprised by Nick Taylor's performance. He won there, of course, a number of years ago, beating Phil Mickelson down the stretch. So I think he's got a perfect game plan for tackling that golf course. Corey Connors is the one who's sort of at the bottom there, and he's not a guy who likes the West Coast swing. So I expect once they move over to Florida in a couple of weeks, I think you'll see some better performances from him. Taylor Pendrith is a guy I'm kind of counting on a little bit. He had a great year 2 years ago. Last year was sort of just a good to average year, I would say. Mm-hmm. We'll wait to see what he does. Mackenzie Hughes took some time off at the end of last year, hired a swing coach, started working with him, then fired the swing coach and is going back out on his own. I'm never quite sure where he's going to be, but I think all 4 of those guys, are going to be interesting to watch to see if they can get better, if they can win on the tour, because outside of Nick Taylor, the other guys should be able to win. Should be capable of it, and yet we're not really seeing them getting into the winner's circle, and that's really the next step they need to take with their games.
What do you make? What do you think about Corey Connors? As you said, he doesn't like the West Coast swing, but is it that simple? I mean, we follow him quite closely here, as you know, because his caddy's Danny Saul from Sherwood Park. So is it just something? Is that upstairs? Is it a mental thing for him on this West Coast?
It's more the grasses that he plays out there. He grew up in the Toronto area, or let's say up in this area anyway, in Ontario, where he's not used to the kind of grass they have out west, whereas Nick Taylor is. And so that frustrates him a little bit. He's just never really been able to kind of dial it in. And if you look at his good performances, they're all on the Eastern Seaboard. So while he's good, while he's consecutive in terms of making cuts most of the time, I think he's only missed 2 cuts in the last 2 years. So he's consistent, but I think mentally, he's probably got it more than anything right now. He says, I'm just not going to play well out here. I don't really like it. So kind of shuts it down until he gets over onto the East Coast and gets that Florida swing started. Florida's where he makes his home now most of the year. He actually has a place in Listowel, which is where he's from. He spends the summers up there. So I think I'm not worried about him playing better. I'd like to see him play a little better out there, but nothing worries me about his game right now.
Yeah. It's a funny story, Bob. I covered the Syncrude Boreal Open up in Fort McMurray. This is about a dozen years ago, and Connors and Taylor Pendrith were just kind of cutting their teeth on the Canadian tour at the time. And Connors missed the cut and caddied for Pendrith for the final 2 rounds. That's I always think, because they were good buddies from Kent State, right, and everything like that. So
yeah, they were roommates. They played a lot of junior golf. They played in a lot of same competitions around Ontario for while they were getting older, and 4 years as roommates, and they're very different guys. Corey is a very studious guy. He have actuarial math degree. Taylor Pendrith is a guy, I think, who sort of spent more time in the gym and did a few things. Wasn't quite the great student that Corey was, but they've both made it onto the PGA Tour, so we don't have to worry about them.
Have you been able to hit it down south anywhere to play a little golf yet at all?
I am going. I'm going down this week just to do a little event with our friends at RBC, and I'm going to play a little golf one day. We'll see how that goes. I haven't hit many clubs. I've been, I guess, like most people in Canada, I've been swinging indoors into nets and into simulators. So we'll see if that translates onto the green grass. But been a pretty harsh winter in this part of the country. I'm sure. I think probably the same everywhere in Canada, but it's I'm getting antsy. You know, it's getting almost to March now, and once we start getting into the Players Championship and the Masters, well, that's when you got to get out and try to hit it somewhere.
Exactly. Hey, Bob, as always, thanks so much for your insight. Thanks for your time this morning. Take care, and we'll talk soon.
Anytime, Kevin.
Yeah, that's Bob Weeks from TSN, covers curling and golf, and that's our game of the day brought to you by St. Albert Dodge. And again, the all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. You can get behind the wheel for less than $50,000. Check them out at stalbertdodge.com. When we come back, the con man, Connor Halley, is in the building. Also, Brent Sake from the world's longest hockey game. I think they were about 1.1 million last night. That's the last number that I heard. They were just cracked the 1 million mark on Sunday morning. So, you know, usually what happens is the donations keep rolling in as, the day basically progresses and continues on. So I'm sure they'll probably touch that up a little bit more as those final figures come in. Connor Halley, when we return on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Mr. Rooter gets a colonoscopy.
All right, Mr. Rooter, just relax. We're almost finished.
Now, what am I looking at on the screen?
That's your large intestine.
Wow, the pipes of the human body. Incredible. This is just like when we use a camera for sewer inspection, except you probably don't find tree roots.
You'd be surprised what we find.
You know, once I found a bunch of Hot Wheels.
Hey, me too.
For a plumber who values healthy pipes, call Mr. Rooter.
What if you could hire motivated, safety-trained youth with no risk and funding to support you? At Careers the Next Generation, we make hiring easy with funded internships across Alberta in trades, IT, forestry, and more. Interns are WCB covered, complete high school accredited safety trained, and arrive ready to contribute from day one. With 42% of RAP students completing their apprenticeship by age 22, you get skilled workers faster. Spots are filling up. Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Get down to Harley-Davidson of Edmonton's VIP Spring Blowout Sale this Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 4. New motorcycles are selling for as low as $12,900. And ask us about the 1-year extended warranty on new and used bikes. Bring your buddies, because when they buy a new Harley, you get a $500 referral credit. For more details, visit Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail or at hdedmonton.com.
McValue meals are here. Get the McDs you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, Junior Chicken, or Chicken Snack Wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
As players get ready to represent Canada, the regular hockey season takes a break. But don't forget about your winter breaks, BRAKES. At Napa Auto Parts, you'll find gold medal level stopping power and all your other world-class automotive parts and needs, like podium-worthy Napa Gold filters. Napa Auto Parts is here to support your commute, your drive to the rink, and eventually your own gold medal moment. With close to 600 locations throughout the country and over 85 in Alberta, stop into your local Napa store today. Let's go, Canada! That's Napa know-how.
His name? Paul Del Vecchio, better known as Pauly D from TV's hit reality series Jersey Shore. Now he's bringing the party to the venue at River Cree Resort and Casino. Get ready for DJ Pauly D. Voted as one of the best DJs in the U.S., his passionate, high-energy sets have made him one of the most sought-after DJs in the world. DJ Pauly D. March 7th. Hurry, get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
The Winter Olympics have pairs skating. Kevin can't even find matching socks.
Gold Medal Mornings.
The Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 10:22 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on a terrific Tuesday morning. Time to welcome in the con man, Connor Halley from Fantasy Frenzy, and the Jason Gregor Show. How were the roads, con man, coming into work here in the last half an hour or so?
They were fine.
Yeah,
I would say, yeah. I mean, it's messy, and turn your rear lights on, please. That's like my advisory.
Is that your pet peeve?
Well, it wasn't always, and then it's just been hammered into me like, guys, we gotta do this. And Gregor's very big on it, and our texters are very big on it. And it's just like these conditions.
Isn't it all automatic?
I guess not for everyone.
Really?
It's automatic for me in my mind because
Yeah.
my car isn't automatic. I just have to remember to do it. But I mean, once you get onto kind of a major road, you kind of clue in, right? When snow's being kicked up
Yeah.
and people can't see, it's
Well,
it's
there you
so
go.
simple. It's like just flick it.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's like signaling. It's not that hard to do. So
Yeah. A lot of people don't signal. That drives me nuts.
my pet peeve,
Yeah,
Kev,
that's
is
it.
when say someone they don't signal when they change lanes, and they get into a lane where you have to turn and they turn it on. It's like, why didn't you just turn it on both times, or neither? Why, when you make an abrupt move, you don't tell anyone, but then when everybody knows what you're doing, you decide to turn it on?
Right.
That drives me absolutely crazy.
Wow.
But anyways,
Yeah. Connor Halley with us in the Sports 1440 studios. Hey, it's franchise tag day.
Yeah.
In the NFL.
Love it.
You know how many were franchised last year?
Not off the top of my head, no.
2, I think.
That was it.
I think it's 2. I'm going to double check on that. What's that, Duke?
Trey Hendrickson?
Was
he franchise or just an actual 1-year extension?
I got the just used twice last year. T. Higgins, Trey Smith.
Okay.
I think the big guy is George Pickens, probably.
Yeah.
Say,
The number for receivers is wild, though.
I know.
Like, to me, that's just a way to keep him up from being a free agent, and then you have to negotiate a long-term deal.
Yeah. And there's various tags. There's non-exclusive franchise tags, exclusive franchise tag, and a transition tag.
Yeah.
So the transition is a 1-year tender offer for the average of the top 10 salaries at the position. And as you said, because like some of these receivers were getting the big cake, man.
Pickens would be $28 million.
$28 million.
I really like him as a player, but
That's
a little steep. But if you turn that into a 4-year deal at 23 or something,
80.
Lock it in, guaranteed, like a good chunk guaranteed. I think that will provide some stability. I think then all of a sudden Pickens might be willing to do that. But that franchise tag number, it's wild.
Yeah.
There's some positions like an offensive lineman, 27 mil, quarterback,
That's why,
47.
very rarely are there tight ends, right?
So cheap.
Yeah.
16. Well,
yeah.
In perspective, so much
Right.
cheaper. It, kind of takes us back last year. Had you franchise tag Sam Darnold, like the Vikings should have, like I said the whole time, $40 million. This year it's going to cost 47.
Wow.
It's only going up. I don't think there's any real candidates this year for it, but
No.
yeah, it's an interesting wrinkle. On the flip side, like a running back, not too bad. $14 million. Like,
yeah,
if you're keeping a good one, it's worth it.
Was it Le'Veon Bell and then he ended up he
Sat out the whole year.
Sat out, and he ended up costing him millions.
Yeah. Then he signed with the Jets, I believe, after that, and just wasn't the same.
Pissed it all away.
Yeah. It's a tough way to, it's unfortunate. And then, I remember him talking about how towards the end of career, he thought maybe he could switch to receiver. He was a pretty good catcher out of the backfield, and his patience was unbelievable behind
That's
the line of
just bad
scrimmage.
advice, though,
But
right? Bad advice.
yeah, eventually you always, I think, got to get back out there and play because the league could go on without you for sure. And most teams are okay with that.
So again, when you mention it too, like if you get tagged, then you can go all the way up to July 15th.
Yeah.
To negotiate a multi-year extension.
Exactly.
So maybe that happens with someone like Pickens. The other names that are popping up for me are Daniel Jones, possibility, and Breece Hall. Those would be I don't know if it's the higher profile guys.
I would think that if you're Seattle and you have that discussion with Kenneth Walker, like his stock will never be higher.
Yeah.
I think he'd be silly to leave, but he's got his championship, Super Bowl MVP. If he wanted to cash in, maybe
but they're saying he's not going to sign a franchise tag. Is that what the rumor is?
I just think he'd be a good candidate to do it.
Eh?
I wonder if the Chargers with Odafe Oweh is the guy they traded Alohi Gilman to the Ravens.
Yeah.
Edge rusher. He was great when he got there. That might be a candidate as well. Again, and let's check with edge rusher here. I think it'd be a pretty expensive price tag to do that.
You'd be looking at 35, no?
Defensive end is 26 mil.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not cheap to do
because
that.
all those guys like Max Crosby signed, that's a little while back.
Yeah.
But then
Miles Garrett got his big payday.
Watt.
Mhm.
So all those guys, that's when that's where the salary increased.
Jumped up $4 million.
Wow.
From 22. If it's linebacker, if that's the category, it went from 25 to 27. So yeah, those positions that get paid, it really does benefit everyone.
For sure. Should mention the third period is just starting with the Czechs and Denmark. The Czechs lead 3-2. The winner of this game plays Canada tomorrow in the quarterfinals. Also coming up later today, it is Sweden and Latvia. Germany beat France 5-1, and the Swiss shut out Italy 3-0. It'll be the Swiss taking on Finland, and Germany with that win will now play Slovakia in the quarters. Leon Draisaitl had a goal, 2 assists. Josh Szymanski had 1 goal and 1 assist there. How much Olympics did you watch on the weekend?
A lot. I will say, like, the time zone is not ideal. Like when right now, what is it, 6:30 over there? So by mid-afternoon, you're kind of just watching the replays, which is fine. It's good to see those, but little guys waking us up at 6:37. So that has been a benefit. You have the morning coffee and throw on the games.
Something on, yeah.
Got a chance to watch the relay this morning. That
Did
was
you?
the Canadian team was like unfazed. They fell behind early, but they're knocking off a tenth of a second each lap as they went around. It's just vets, I believe, like all over 30, I think. So
we had to watch the curling in here. Duke wouldn't let us watch anything else because of his affair with Emma Miskew. Hey, Duke? Huh?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I wasn't aware that race had already started, and then it took me long enough to find the CBC channel that it was over by the time we clicked over.
I will say, I mean, I told Duke, like, by the time there's 3 or 4 stones left, it was over.
Yeah,
that's what I was like. We can change it because
it was 6-6.
This is over. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was tied, but the way things were setting up. I mean, I'm no curling expert. Anything could happen, but I was just thinking, like, Holman's got this. There's no way.
Holman had to make a big shot in 8. She had a triple.
Yeah,
that got her out of some serious trouble
for sure. But just the way things are going, I don't like. Again, Duke knows way more. But
she's only 4-3.
The way it was going, she had it. You got to believe she's going to raise her game when she has to.
I'm concerned about her.
Yeah,
I think the concern level is fairly high. Duke, are you? Where are you in?
Oh, she's a must win. Like she can't lose again to get into the playoffs.
But she controls her destiny.
Yeah,
with 2 more wins. They play Korea.
And I believe, like,
is it Great Britain?
I think Great Britain, a loss from them wouldn't hurt her either. But I'm still on board with it. He's gonna find a way.
I don't know. Duke's like he doesn't. He just watches Emma Miskew anyway.
Yeah.
He's not even watching anything else. Shaking his head now. He wants Emma Miskew to throw skip rocks and have the event covered by Lindsay Hamilton. That would be his dream matchup here. Hey, Duke, or what? Yeah, whatever.
Maybe for his next birthday, you could get them both in studio for him.
Well, he got Lindsay Hamilton on.
Yeah.
I was gone.
Oh,
and he wanted a hogger to himself. Hey, there was also, and Duke said we were talking about it. There was a rock that just made it over the hog line today, and they brought out this little measurement thing. I've never seen it before. Duke said he's never seen it before. But it basically went on the line, and then if it was touching the rock, and obviously it was okay.
No.
So, but it just looked like a piece of plastic, Duke? But it had the Olympic rings on it and everything.
Yeah, it looked all official, but it looked like something you could have picked up at the local hardware store for about 35 cents.
Exactly.
Well, they had a problem.
Yeah.
It was getting out of hand.
Well, it went bananas. We just had Bob Weeks on, and, he said, I know, at least you're talking about curling on the worldwide stage.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
It's funny. Coming in this morning, listened to the guys on Fox at, it's like 6, just after 6. And they were talking about curling on there. And they have no concept about what it is. That's how bad it was. Like they kept calling it shuffleboard on ice. And they said they all felt that they could be successful. Because the question was, what Olympic sport could you play?
And they went with curling.
And one guy was talking about speed skating. Like, there's no way.
I think from those who have never done it, curling looks easy. And then you do it once and you have a full respect
Those
for
guys
it.
couldn't slide out of the hack at all.
I saw John Cullen. I know you guys have had him on the show
John
before.
Cullen, he's good.
I think he was applying to, pardon my take. If you guys need an expert sport, let me know, because they were talking about the ruling and the Canadian stuff as well. Like, it's good people are talking about it. It's a fun game, but the whole Broomgate scandal, I'm intrigued by it.
Nails says, that's his Duke's buddy Nails. KK, you don't watch Emma? If you say so, if you say no, you're lying. Patty and Spruce, I agree with Duke. Emma's easy to look at.
There's a fan club there. Yeah.
The rig says Duke has good taste in women, apparently. Wow. Never know. 3-2 Czechs. Now 16 minutes, 45 seconds left in the third period. Czechs lead 3-2 over Denmark. And I thought the Czechs were going to be a lot better in this tournament than what they've showed.
The way the tournament started, it was like, okay, they might have something here. And then this one, when it was 1-1, I was taken aback just a little bit. Like, are they going to let the Danes keep this going?
Yeah, well, that game against Canada, the Canadians scored with 6 seconds left in the first period.
Yeah,
that was a big killer. Like,
that was the Bo Horvat goal, right?
The
break.
No, Horvat was the third goal.
The third?
Yeah, the Macklin Celebrini had the goal late in the first period. The high deflection.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
I
so
tweeted that if that was a high stick, he would have owned it.
Yeah, I saw that too. That's pretty fair.
He's been unbelievable. That was one of the things Duke and I talked about. Like, man, if you haven't got a chance to watch Macklin Celebrini,
Can't believe it. Yeah.
you're gonna enjoy this kid.
Well, Duke had a question for in or out. Who's been like the biggest surprise in like as far as level of play? And Duke had Mark Stone. For me, it's Celebrini. I think.
Yeah,
the
Stone breakaway goal was just enough speed.
He's still just barely.
He was fighting. Hey, no one was catching him at that point. But yeah, I would have both good picks.
Would you say again? So Canada with that gold in pursuit in speed skating this morning. That was the third gold medal.
Yeah.
So 12th medal total. Would you say, is it a disappointment where this as a team with 12 medals, or is it kind of on par? Where are you at?
Where were they in 2022?
They had 26 medals total.
Yeah.
In the 2022, they had 27 medals in the Summer Olympics.
Yeah.
2
Or
years ago.
events.
I don't know.
We do good in rowing and random events like that. I don't know. I mean, I think there was a few in speed skating. Maybe we missed out on a couple. But I don't know.
What if they get like less than 20 total?
It's probably a disappointment.
Yeah.
You always want to get better, right?
Well,
Improve those numbers.
Yeah, I would think anything less than 20 would be a disappointment.
Mhm.
But, and again, there's still a lot of good events here.
I also think it's certain events like the Canada, like winning today's gold. I think that was one that everybody had circled. That should be a medal.
Yeah.
Both hockey teams. I don't want to say I'm, down on Canada.
Well,
kind of down on
silver in women.
Yeah, I think that might be a lock. The American team is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then on the men's side, like those are the ones to me that unfortunately people just kind of look at. Like as long as they get gold in those, we're okay. I don't know if it's going to happen on the women's side.
I don't know either.
They need
But,
some MVP magic.
We were talking about, one game showdown. I'm not comparing this to the 1980 USA and Russia at all. But, how they said, in one game, we could beat them. We're not going to beat them 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
But that's where I think a lot of people feel that way.
And that's it, right? You still have a chance. Obviously, they're still like top 2 team in the world.
Yeah.
I think they can't let it get run and gun though. No. I've just watching these Americans. They've got some really good speed, and I don't think Canada can keep up in that aspect. So I think he's trying to slow it down.
Yeah.
The goal that Poulin scored, the second one diving.
Yeah,
we need a couple of those goals right in tight there.
Yeah, and your goaltender's going to have to stand on her head.
Absolutely.
Really stand.
Can't be a replay of, was it 8 shots with the goal allowed yesterday?
Yeah.
Got to be a little. State percentage has to be a little
bit better. What's coming up on the Jason Gregor show today, Con?
Today on the show, try to get Kevin Woodley on. Talk some goaltending. So he'll get his thoughts on Bennington.
Normally he's on Mondays.
Normally on Mondays, we'll have TR co-hosting. Dave McCarthy. We've got Struddy. We've got Spec. We've got DVD. So a pretty loaded show today. And then Cam Tate's 2-minute warning.
Tater.
Yeah. I don't think he's coming in today.
No.
But last time we had a snowstorm, he did. So,
did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got to stay home today.
Against all odds. He's telling me
he
at his
probably had a
home,
big weekend.
he said they're not watching the Olympics.
What do you mean?
They watch movies.
What?
So he might want to get out of there.
Yeah.
We got the games on all the time.
Exactly. Good stuff, Con Man. Have a great show and Fantasy Frenzy too.
Thank you very much.
As always, thanks for coming in. Connor Halley, Fantasy Frenzy, and the Jason Greger Show, 2 till 6, right here on Sports 1440. Still to come, we're going to hook up with Brent Sake out at Saker's Acres. He just got out of the rack about 9 o'clock, and he's ready to come on to give us a wrap from the world's longest hockey game that wrapped up yesterday around supper time. And another record in the books and another great fundraising. So well over $1.1 million. So that's coming up right after the break. Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Mr. Rooter gets a colonoscopy.
All right, Mr. Rooter, just relax. We're almost finished.
Now, what am I looking at on the screen?
That's your large intestine.
Wow, the pipes of the human body. Incredible. This is just like when we use a camera for sewer inspection, except you probably don't find tree roots.
You'd be surprised what we find.
You know, once I found a bunch of Hot Wheels.
Hey, me too.
For a plumber who values healthy pipes, call Mr. Rooter.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
This jersey was worn by the legend himself, signed and everything. You can't just wear it. I'm framing it with expressions and images.
Your prized jersey deserves better than the closet. Think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Get ready to love your home, Canada. The Brick has the styles and the savings to make
I'm
you fall
getting
head over
expressions and
heels.
images to frame my
Save
hockey card
$1,100
collection
on
in the
couches
man
made for
cave.
cuddling.
Perfect. I'll
Enjoy
come
a
with you and
romantic
bring our
meal
wedding
and a dining
photos.
set
For
up to
sports
25%
memorabilia and
off.
family treasures,
yes,
think
save
Expressions and
25%
Images,
off in the
your local
bedrooms,
custom
too.
framer since
Plus, go up to
91. You name
$1,500
it,
on
we
TV of
frame
your
it.
dreams. Love is in the air, and so are the savings. Only at the Brick. Some exclusions apply. Check out the Brick in South Common, West End Mall, North Side, and downtown.
Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the move, you're never more than a tap away from Sports 1440. Download the radio player or iHeart app today so you can get all access anytime to Edmonton's only sports radio station, Sports 1440.
His name? Paul Del Vecchio, better known as Pauly D from TV's hit reality series Jersey Shore. Now he's bringing the party to the venue at River Cree Resort and Casino. Get ready for DJ Pauly D. Voted as one of the best DJs in the U.S., his passionate, high-energy sets have made him one of the most sought-after DJs in the world. DJ Pauly D. March 7th. Hurry, get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement? Bet on it.
Invest for today and tomorrow. Vision Credit Union makes it simple with 2 RRSP options to fit your goals. Choose a secure term deposit RRSP with guaranteed returns or a mutual fund RRSP offering higher growth potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams, whether it's retirement or your first home. The deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 10:41 in Edmonton. Time to talk a little hockey, and the world's longest hockey game wrapped up last night out at Saker's Acres as we welcome in Brent Sake. Good morning, Saker.
How are you doing, young man?
Did you get a little steep last night, big guy?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we had a little post party there, but I think everybody was just done with everybody, and we all went to bed.
Yeah,
not like the old days, man.
No, I mean, yeah, we would keep going all night long. No, not really. I think
Yeah.
every time a guy passed out right away after the 240 came up. So what was the total hours, Shaker, again?
261 and change. I don't exactly know, and my sister doesn't tell anyone until she talks to Guinness and does her paperwork and all that kind of goodness. So we'll know probably in about a month exactly.
So 261. Basically, you had to, because, the guys in Calgary and you guys have been doing it, in the sense you go up hour or two every time, something like that?
Yeah. Minutes, seconds. That's all we need to go by at this point.
Yeah. So what was, I guess, the last hour or so, because it's always maybe the most fulfilling with people out there last night and, just to wrap things up.
Yeah, it's magic when people are out cheering you and hollering and screaming, and everyone had their last little bit of legs left. So we had a pretty good pace. I was joking around that we slowed down for the last hour, but that's probably quickest. We skated the whole time. It's exciting. We reached our goal. The equipment's purchased and on the way. It's beautiful, man. Everything that I could hope and pray for just happened, and I'm very thankful.
Yeah. So was it 1.1? And I imagine funds are still coming in, right?
Yeah. It's still stuff that we haven't counted and whatnot. So, we needed $1 million to get the program going, and we got that. And this will ensure that patients will be treated as early as August.
Mm-hmm. So maybe just touch on, and you talked about this last week when we had you on Saker too, with the CAR T-cell equipment that is going to be purchased here with the funds raised.
Yeah, it's a program that a patient spoke about last night at the closing ceremonies there. But ultimately, this program has been in clinical trials for years, and it's been a $9 million project to try to get to this point. And people that need to get CAR T-cell therapy, which is really one of the magical things in cancer treatment right now that they've figured out, which is incredible. But we've always had to go to the States to do that. And that's unfortunately just not feasible for everybody to get the treatment that they need. But over years of fundraising with other stuff, with the Toast of Town and the Cure Cancer Foundation, everybody, they've been working on this for years, and we just caught the tail end of it. And now having that room at the Cross means it's just available for everyone, not only Albertans, but Canadians will all be using this piece of equipment, which is incredible.
Yeah, because again, as you said, people had to go to the States for their treatment, which is, that's not ideal for sure. Not ideal for sure. Brent Sake with us on Sports 1440. So do you know what the total is? Like, is it like 8 or 9 million total, Saker, since when you put on all the games together here?
I think we're just about touching 10 million at this point, over all these years. And, I don't even know what to say about that. It's, I respect that all events and all things they get legs and you just can't expect things to keep going on forever. But magically, I'll do this forever. As I've said this 1,000 times, if people keep giving us money and we can get such magical programs to save lives, and I'll do it forever. And I'm thankful to our community for believing in what we're doing, and we're just going to keep doing it.
Maybe just tell our listeners, Brent Sake with us, about the journey again. When you go back almost, I guess, 2 decades plus, when things got rolling to where the event is to what it is right now.
Well, it's what I call a work bee or a work in progress. In 2003, when we started, we didn't have a locker room. We changed and showered in one garage. And I remember guys in the basement of my house all naked, and you had like 30 seconds to shower and just to line up. It was crazy. And, and then so we go from there and moved to another property. I bought the property because there was a low-lying spot where I could build a rink. I didn't even look at the house. Didn't go inside the house. I said, yeah, we can build a rink here. And then I moved to this property. And each time it's just been this progression of making it a better place for people to come and watch, enjoyable for volunteers, just a kind of a big arms open place for people to come and enjoy. I mean, I saw lots of people over the past week that were sitting by themselves, which I know what that means. It means they're missing somebody, right? So I appreciate that a lot, and I want to make this a good place. My poor wife, we still have, you've seen it, we still have the kitchen cabinets from my buddy's garages from '07 when I started building this place. So we still don't have a kitchen built yet, but we have a rink house.
Yeah.
And that's what our family sort of decided to invest our time and funds into, is to make sure this place is good to keep growing.
Yeah. How many, and I know you talked about Darcy and the big German Curtis Sieben that have been in all of them, but how many new players were there this year?
Well, see, that's the hard part, is I don't consider them new players. There's some kids out there that weren't born the first time we played, and now they're playing because their dads have been playing for a number of years. So they grew up around this thing with their dad. So there's actually only 3 new players, but we had maybe 15 first timers, I guess. But it's a father and son show now, which is incredible. We're watching the next generation. My son Jesse will be old enough to play the next game, so he'll be out there. And at some point, us old guys we'll quit, and we'll let the kids keep it on.
Well, maybe you got to go back in goal.
That's what we need. Yeah.
That's always, because that ups the goals, right?
Yeah,
it ups the goals.
I compared my pads to Noah's pads, because Stomp gave us pads years ago for all the goalies. And they're an NHL pad at the time. They were making them, and it's incredible the difference in gear. It's like, oh man, I could probably get back in net with this new gear just as a piece of cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were talking about Yanni Nienema's sister was in goal?
Yeah, sure. This girl, she's nuts. It was funny because I didn't know, nobody knew. She came and didn't have hockey pants, right?
Oh.
And so she had, not goalie pants, but she had some hockey pants that somebody gave her or something, whatever, just to borrow her. But she played net without goalie pants on it. And her thighs, it's incredible that the doctors actually had to draw out the shape of her bruises. It's covered her whole legs on both sides. and she's lying on the treatment table, pointing to all these bruises, asking people which country they're from, because this is what Finland looks like.
Wow.
And, but yeah, she's a trooper. Dude, crazy Finn, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and not one complaint. She was in a room of a bunch of guys and taking all her licks if she let in a bad goal, and if there was bad defense, she was tossing it out. So I'm blessed to call her my friend, and I can't wait. She's already coming back for next game, so it's awesome.
Are you going to do the baseball again here? What's the schedule for that one?
Yeah, so in 18 months, I might do a kids baseball game this year. Jesse wants to do that. So that'll be kind of a little weekender or something for the kids to play. But in about 18 months, we'll play the longest baseball game. And but I say that now, but truly when we do it, it's not so much a schedule. Like this game was slotted because we needed the funds for that equipment. And if things are going good and there's not necessarily a program to dig our teeth into or something like that, then we can wait, right? It's not really a true schedule. It's just when it's right, we do it. And that's kind of how we've always thought of that. Yeah.
Matt and Leduc texted in and said, don't put Sake in goal. The one time I was able to help ref out there, him and one of the guys dropped the gloves and scrapped. And while they were laying on the ice gasping, they looked up at me and the other ref and said, we can sit for 5 minutes now, right? That's the good thing, right? If you ever do get a penalty, you get to rest a little bit. So
yeah. And thank you to Matt and all the refs that were out there. I hope they had a good time, and I had a blast with them. My favorite line is I love giving the refs a hard time, saying just because you're a volunteer doesn't mean you have to be shitty at
it. Hey, good stuff, Saker. I'll just leave you open, Mike, because I know you want to maybe thank the volunteers and sponsors and everything like that put this together.
Yeah, to everybody. There's over 800 people to do this, and it warms my heart to call many of them friends, and all of them friends. I got to meet so many people. Yeah, my heart is your heart, and I thank you very much, because without that, it's impossible. And it's the same phone numbers, the same people out there all the time. And thank you.
Yeah. Okay, big guy. Thanks a lot. Rest up.
Thank you, sir.
You guys, do you know if you're going to go on the ice at Oiler game coming up again, or?
I'm not sure. Yeah, they'll call me or I'll call them and see what the math is, and we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, that's another blowout for you too.
Yeah.
Okay, big guy. Rest up. Congratulations on another great event. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Brent Sake, world's longest hockey game, and it wrapped up yesterday around supper time. And again, about 1.1 million. This all started in 2003. And that game was a shorter version just for the weekend. And then they went to 240 hours in 2005. So when you add up this 1,000,001 and change, I think they're probably at about 9.3 million, somewhere in there, as far as how many consecutive games that they played and things like that. So and again, this is all for the Carticel equipment. And there's another event coming up here in April, and that's the Toast of the Town, where they're going to do Terry O'Flynn. Actually, I was out there with T.O. and a couple other guys, Barry Stafford and Stuckey, and Sparky was out there, Lane McMillan, and a couple other guys. Brendan Connolly was out there on Sunday morning. So kudos to Brent. And again, all the volunteers that put this event on, simply amazing. It isn't an easy event when you think about it. The amount of people that have to be, as Brent said, you're looking at 800 volunteers. From everything from serving food to Zamboni drivers, everything, doctors, nurses, massage therapists. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So kudos to everybody and all the players and volunteers. Coming up at the top of the hour, it is Fantasy Frenzy with
the former Rush Ship T-Bird,
Connor Halley, and the Duke of Delburne. At 12 o'clock, it's the Lowdown with Alan Mitchell till 2, and Jason Greger drives us home with the Jason Greger Show till 6 bells. We got Fox Sports all night long. We're back with you tomorrow morning at 7. We hope to have our co-host on Wednesdays, David Schlemko, back in after not feeling 100% last week, so hopefully Schlemmer will be in. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you are thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. It is still 3-2 Czechs over Denmark. 6 minutes, 10 seconds left in the game. The winner goes on to play Canada tomorrow. Hey, thanks everybody for listening this morning. Thanks for sending all the great texts and being a part of the show, all the great interaction. We could not do it without you. Hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Until then, here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Team Canada from Italy this morning. The women's short track team pursuit taking home gold, defeating the Netherlands in their final race. Rachel Holman and her women's curling team beat Sweden 8-6. Men's aerials, women's aerials, and the women's snowboard slopestyle final, all with Canadians in the respective fields, have been postponed due to weather. Women's singles figure skating short program underway with Canadian Madeline Shizatz in the field. Men's two-man bobsleigh, final 2 runs starting here at the top of the hour. 2 Canadian teams competing there. Brad Jacobs on the men's curling team will play Great Britain, and Dylan Deschamps will ski for a medal in the men's big air. Outside of the Canadian scope, quarterfinal qualifier games in the men's hockey tournament on today. Leon Draisaitl, 3 points in Germany's 5-1 win over France. The Swiss blanked Italy 3-0. Czechia currently leads Denmark 3-2. Winner of this game will go on to play Canada tomorrow morning, and Sweden, they take on Latvia just after 1 o'clock. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is Fantasy Frenzy with Hallie and Douglas. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and